and injure 5,000 others. 1917. Communist revolutionary Vladimir Lenin returns to Russia, ending years of exile in Switzerland. Months later, Lenin's Bolshevik movement seizes power, establishing what becomes the Soviet Union. 1889. Charlie Chaplin, whose comic tramp character made him one of the first big movie stars, is born in London. 1996. Britain's Prince Andrew and his wife Sarah, the Duchess of York, better known as Fergie, announce they are getting a divorce. 1964. Also in Britain, the Rolling Stones released their debut album, The Rolling Stones, England's newest hitmakers. And 2003.
I would be content in the sense that I gave the game of basketball as much as I could give it physically.
Basketball great Michael Jordan plays his last NBA game as he and his Washington Wizards lose to the Philadelphia 76ers. Today in history, April 16th, David Melendi, The Associated Press. April 16th, 2007. A gunman opens fire on the campus of Virginia Tech, killing 32 students and faculty members before killing himself. The number of victims made the shooting the deadliest in modern U.S. history. 1947. The country's deadliest industrial accident takes place in the harbor of Texas City, Texas. That's where the ships Grand Camp and the High Flyer, both carrying ammonium nitrate fertilizer, each explode a day apart. The blasts and resulting fires kill 576 people and injure 5,000 others. 1917. Communist revolutionary Vladimir Lenin returns to Russia, ending years of exile in Switzerland. Months later, Lenin's Bolshevik movement seizes power, establishing what becomes the Soviet Union. 1889. Charlie Chaplin, whose comic tramp character made him one of the first big movie stars, is born in London. 1996. Britain's Prince Andrew and his wife Sarah, the Duchess of York, better known as Fergie, announce they are getting a divorce. 1964. Also in Britain, the Rolling Stones released their debut album, The Rolling Stones, England's newest hitmakers. And 2003.
I would be content in the sense that I gave the game of basketball as much as I could give it physically.
Basketball great Michael Jordan plays his last NBA game as he and his Washington Wizards lose to the Philadelphia 76ers. Today in history, April 16th, David Melendi, The Associated Press.
Yeah, we're here. This is weird. We had the strangest thing happen this morning. I was watching Mike, and all of a sudden, he went half screen on the video. And good morning, Jill. Good morning, Jim. Okay, we're populating now. We had a Windows update, but that had nothing to do with the half screen that Mike was experiencing. I have no idea. I have no idea. We've got all the everything else is working here. That's a little awkward. That's a little weird, but we'll oh, technology. You know, sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not. We've got a whole blank screen. I need somebody else to come fill it in with me, I guess. But we've got a lot of stuff to get to. We've got the Today in History. And now let's get to the meat of things and see what is going on. There is plenty going on. Let's start with this horrible news. We had another mass shooting last night. 8 people shot and killed at a FedEx facility near the airport Thursday night, in Indianapolis. The shooter also died self-inflicted gunshot wound, according to the Indianapolis police. Department spokeswoman Janae Cook made that announcement during a news conference this morning. Now, at least 4 people hospitalized as well, including 1 person with critical injuries, 2 others treated at the scene and released. There was no law enforcement injured. FedEx said in a statement, "Safety is our top priority, and our thoughts are with those who are affected. We are working to gather more information and are cooperating with the investigation," according to WTTV. So we'll see what is going to become of this. I'm sure this is going to get things going. Strange they know that the shooter committed suicide, but as in most of these cases, when it's non-Caucasian shooter, they fail to mention that. I don't know. Do we even know? I have no idea if they have identified the shooter or not. Jim, maybe you can enlighten me a little bit on that. Getting comments. You want to comment, feel free to comment on the social media sites, any of them. We've got a whole bunch of Facebook channels going. We have, of course, YouTube going. Video all brought to you by Moody's Collision Center on Sanger Avenue in on, I'm getting my sponsors confused here. There's been a muddled up morning so far. So, Moody's Collision Centers with locations throughout Maine, including in Augusta. And you can also listen 24/7 at legacy1160.com. Click on Listen Live. And that is all powered by the Harry J. Smith Company. They are on Sanger Avenue in Waterville. And we'll continue to bring you any information on this shooting as we get them. And anybody who wants to update, I love seeing the updates. Thank you to the listeners who update me on things going on as we're on the air, because I can't always be looking at everything. And I obviously don't have a production team right here with me. Jim says, is it me or do we have these mass shootings when Democrats are in charge? At least number of incidences. Well, you know what? You know what? That's interesting. Good morning, Alani. Welcome from Florida. Since Joe Biden has taken office, the mass shootings have really ramped up. Now, I don't know. I'm not going to say there's a correlation there, but it's just interesting. It's interesting, and it's the truth. So, but basically, I just don't know. I don't know what the answer to that is, but it'll be interesting to find out who the shooter was and what the motive was. I mean, the motive is, you always wonder why do people do this? Why? Somebody obviously mentally ill. I mean, somebody has to be mentally ill, first of all, to take their own life. And always remember this: if you or somebody you love has suicidal tendencies, it's a horrible thing. Depression and worthlessness is a horrible, horrible thing. But always try to remember, even in the darkest of times, that things will get better, number one. And always remember that suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. How many times in life have we gone through things when it literally, all of us at one time or another have gone through something that we feel everything is hopeless. Believe me, I've been through it. I have been through it. And I'll tell you right now, anybody who knows me will tell you, I don't have the highest of self-esteem. So that's, one strike against me right there. I've suffered from depression. That's another strike against me. But I try to maintain a good attitude and somewhat of a zest for life. You know, I do enjoy what I do, and that's a big part of it. But when somebody is depressed enough to take their own life and angry enough at whatever to take other lives before they take their own life, you want to know what the motive is. And when you find out what the motive is, don't you want to treat people that suffer from any indications that they might be suffering from the same kind of mental, psychological plight and nip that in the bud rather than just say, oh, guns are bad, we've got to ban. Why don't we take care of individuals? Why don't we help individuals who are suffering psychologically? There are normally plenty of red flags in the lives of these individuals who commit these heinous crimes. Usually there are a bunch of, well, you know, he had been talking a lot. We don't know anything about this particular shooting in Indianapolis, but we do know the history of these types of things. And they all have the same, the same structure. They all are people who have had some sort of red flags, whether it's, he was a quiet man, he stayed alone, didn't talk much, he was negative, he was angry, he talked about shooting up schools. I mean, we've heard all this before and nobody said a thing. See something, say something, hear something, say something. And I'm not saying that you say something and then the police should rush in without due process and relieve somebody of their guns. I mean, due process, say something, say something, due process, it all should be part of the equation. But nobody's doing anything. And therein lies the problem. Warning signs are ignored. And there's usually plenty of warning signs. Maybe not in this case. We'll just have to wait and see. It's just interesting to me, though, that most of these things do have that in common. So we will keep you up to date as best we can on the mass shooting last night in Indianapolis. And I will futz around with this video a little bit when I get a chance and find out why it's, I can't figure this out. I mean, I've been using this platform for quite some time now, and I've never seen it do this before. Just very strange. But at least we get half a screen, and that's all that matters. I'm only half here this morning, I guess. That's the indication. So Governor Sununu in New Hampshire, wouldn't you like to have him your governor right now? He has relieved people of the mask mandate, meaning people are free to go about as they... Now, of course, private business is still, as always, allowed to make their own rules. If they want to say, you want to come in here, you got to wear a mask, that's fine. Should you wear a mask if you can't social distance? Sure. Should masks be mandated everywhere? No. No, and finally, especially now with the vaccine out there and the number of deaths going down. So Governor Sununu in New Hampshire has said no more mask mandates. This just happened yesterday. As fatalities continue to decline, this is Sununu talking, as hospitalizations remain manageable and as vaccinations continue to increase, the state's mask mandate will not be renewed tomorrow, he tweeted. He said, this mandate is going away, will not limit or prevent the ability of private businesses or cities and towns from requiring masks, as was the case beforehand. New Hampshire residents know, here it is. Here is the rub with tyrannical governors. I'm not going to mention any names, but you know the ones I'm talking about. He said, New Hampshire residents know how to keep ourselves and our neighbors safe without a state mandate, just as we did before the winter surge. Freedom. Oh, it took some time to get here, right, for New Hampshire, but it's here. Maybe Governor Mills will surprise us. I'd be all over that. I would welcome that, and I would praise the move. I would. I swear to you, I would praise the move. I wouldn't have anything bad to say about a move like that. But it seems every month, we're going to extend the executive orders whatever they call them, for another month, every month without fail. We're going to extend it another month, Yeah, mask mandate stays in place. Going to do it another month. As I said before, why not just do it till the end of your term? Because that's where it's headed. That seems to be where it's going. So here's Sununu did tell reporters at a media briefing that the state is averaging 1 fatality from coronavirus per day, which is the lowest rate it's had since October. In January, the 7-day average of coronavirus fatalities rose to a high of 12. He says masking is encouraged when you can't practice social distancing. Encouraged, but not required. Again, if you're vulnerable, if you haven't had it, if you haven't been vaccinated, you don't want to be in close proximity to somebody without a mask, guess what? This is going to come as a surprise. You have got the freedom to stay away from them or not go near them. Wow. Can you imagine having that kind of freedom? To do as you please? Wouldn't it be great if it were like that everywhere in the United States? So anyway, there's the latest. Republican governor, by the way. What do you expect? Like to see some Democrats doing it. I would like to be heartened a little bit. I would like to see some progress, real progress being made with Democrats saying, okay, enough is enough. Why is it that Democrats don't seem to believe in the freedom of individuality, the freedom of movement, the freedom to live our lives the way many, but not all, Republicans do? Why? I just wonder, is the ideology so different that the Democrats think that it's A-OK to put their thumb down on the public whenever they feel like it? They've already talked about maybe the need to require, after the pandemic is gone, we may need to require lockdowns every once in a while for the climate. Why do they feel they have the ability to control the masses? That's not the way the Constitution is set up. Government of the people, by the people, for the people. You work for us. You take orders from us, not us from you. That is backwards. That's tyrannical. But remember what I always say. The left does not care about the Constitution. Don't care. They don't want to hear it. Talk to the hand. Don't want to hear about your Constitution. Right? Am I right? Yeah, I'm right. You know I'm right. The left knows I'm right. The left knows they are the party of oppression. They know. Well, some don't. Some don't. Some listen exclusively to the Chris Cuomos and the Joy Reids and the Democrats in Congress who tell them that the white man, the white conservatives are the oppressors, especially Joy Reid. Joy Reid says we're all white supremacists oppressors. We suppress the vote. We oppress the people of color. We are colorblind for the most part. We've got a lot to get to with race this morning. We've got great black voices in our Black Voices Matter series. I want you to hear these. I want you to be here for him. Lawrence Jones. We got Lawrence Jones again. He's going to be, his voice is going to be on. And we have Larry Elder, another great black voice. His voice is going to be on. All good stuff. All stuff you need to hear. And we're going to be talking about BLM and the disingenuous campaign, crusade, whatever you want to call it, that they're on. It's disingenuous because they know better. Patrisse Cullors knows better. She knows what she's doing is wrong. She's a Marxist founder. One of the Marxist, I'm not making it up, she said it. She said they're trained in organized community organizing and Marxism. What was Saul Alinsky, author of Rules for Radicals? He was a Marxist. He was a communist. He was a community organizer. Patrisse Cullors, a community organizer and avowed Marxist, a communist. She knows what's going on. She knows what she's doing. Why is she doing it? Look, she got what? 4 houses now. She's going to get one in the Bahamas, shopping for another house in the Bahamas, in the same neighborhood as Justin Timberlake and Tiger Woods. She's made bank on Black Lives Matter, taking donations from the willing sheep, from the corporations who are virtue signaling, Coca-Cola, Delta, Major League Baseball probably. She's fine with it. She's fine with telling the big lie, calling us all white supremacists because she's making bank. You know who's not making bank? The people she says she represents. Why not buy houses for them? Why do you need all these houses, Patrisse Cullors, founder of BLM, Marxist, communist? Why do you need all these houses in predominantly white neighborhoods, the very oppressors? You have chosen to live among them in Los Angeles. Nobody sees through this. Nobody on the left sees through this. What is wrong with them? What is wrong with you if you're on the left? I'm just asking for a little consideration, a little common sense would go a long way to helping the real cause, which is, yeah, there are some racists. We aren't systemically racist. This is not a racist country. Stop it. Who's making it racist? Joy Reid, Al Sharpton, Mika Brzezinski and Joe Scarborough, Don Lemon, Chris Cuomo, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, AOC, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, Ayanna Presley. Those are just a few who are making it racist. How about that? Do you believe that? It's true, because they're driving the wedge. What is the wedge? Well, you name it. It's everything from everybody. I'm surprised there's not more protests on the street. Protests don't have to be peaceful, says Chris Cuomo. We want reparations for slavery, says a whole bunch of them on the left. You know what that's causing? Do you know what that, listen, follow me here. What is that causing? Resentment. That is causing resentment. Is it causing resentment mostly from white people? Well, probably. I would say yes. I would say, why is that? Because most all objective thinking white people, those who aren't virtue signaling, those who aren't leftist crybabies, and most conservative black people understand that this is just for divisiveness. Reparations, we got to pay all this money. That is causing so much resentment between races, but that's why they're doing it. That's why they're doing it. And your virtue signaling, pasty white, loudmouth crybabies are out there. Yeah, well, we owe reparations for slavery. How many generations ago was this? What they want to progress, progressives. They want to move on, as in moveon.org, then frickin' move on. Stop driving a wedge between us. Let us get along. Me, my father, my grandfather, none of us owned slaves. Very few of us would even justify it. I'm sure there are some people out there who would. Oh, there were white slaves too, but that's we can't talk about that. Stop driving the wedge. We want to be colorblind. We want to be colorblind. We like nice people, period. We like people who work hard, period. We don't see color. We don't see race. We don't see ethnicity. We do see citizenship. We see that as important. These are all things that the left could care less about. Legality. They could care less about nice people. They could care less about work ethic. All they care about is driving a wedge between the races. Good morning, Heather. Good morning, everybody checking in here this morning. I will, hi, Casey, how are you? We'll check in with all these comments we've got coming in. I appreciate it. And I'm not going to share the comments live on the screen now until I figure out why we're only half screen. Now we're only going to be a sliver of the screen if I do that. So I'll figure it out. If I don't figure it out, I'll work on it this weekend. I'm going to be in the radio station on Monday anyway, so it won't matter. So we will get into the race thing. I didn't mean to get into it right there, but one thing leads to another. And I just, when I think of things, sometimes it's best to address them when I'm thinking of them. We've got to take a break here, and we will get back. We'll go right into the, whoa, stop that now. What is that? We'll get right into the race thing coming up here in a couple of minutes. I call it the race thing. That sounds very flippant, and I don't mean to do that. I'm just trying to do a couple of things at once here, and that is a little difficult for me. Stick around. Right back with more, and this is Freedom's Pep Rally. I'm John James.
WSKW, Legacy 1160.
Drug Take-Back Day is coming Saturday, April 24th from 10 to 2. Prescriptions left in medicine cabinets are fueling Maine's drug epidemic. In 2020, Maine saw 502 drug overdose deaths, a record number that Maine is not proud of. Early reports suggest that 2021 may break that record, with 58 deaths caused by drugs in January alone. But you can help by safely disposing of unused, unwanted, or expired medications with no questions asked. To find a drop-off location for Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, April 24th in Somerset or Kennebec County, visit facebook.com/Somerset Public Health and click on events. Can't make it to Drug Take-Back Day? Don't worry. Secure prescription drug drop-off boxes are available anytime. A complete list of locations can be found at somersetpublichealth.org/meds. Make sure to check Somerset Public Health social media for tips on how to safely store medications as well. Don't wait. With your help, we can curb the drug epidemic in Maine.
Spring is the time of renewal for both you and your home. So brighten your day and your surroundings with great items from Townline Antiques. Do you love classic decor? You'll find furniture, artwork, glassware, signs, and hundreds more pieces around every corner. Their classic colors and styles will have you thinking spring and feeling invigorated every time you see them. Or maybe you enjoy collecting books, comics, coins, sports memorabilia, watches, or classic electronics. Townline Antiques has rare items that you won't find anywhere else. Townline is also showcasing a new display of art glass that's absolutely dazzling. Each piece is one of a kind with its own unique flair of colors and form. You simply have to see them to appreciate their beauty. And for everyone who loves to bring items back to life, they're now carrying high-quality fusion mineral paints that give you beautiful color and a durable, long-lasting finish. Townline Antiques open Tuesday through Sunday from 10 to 5, Route 201, right on the Winslow-Vassaboro Town Line.
Not all bed liners are alike. Line-X spray-on bed liners offer protection from every angle with no lost cargo space, as well as protection from cracking, bubbling, and peeling with a factory-like finish and a nationwide guarantee. See the difference for yourself at Line-X of Augusta, 509 Main Avenue, Farmingdale, your authorized Line-X dealer. Your truck is your baby, and Line-X of Augusta has some sharp accessories that'll make your ride stand out. From truck caps and tonneau covers, Nerf bars, cargo management, towing supplies, mud flaps, and ladder racks to chrome accents. Dress up your ride today at Line-X of Augusta, 509 Main Avenue, Farmingdale.
Somerset Stone & Stove will always be your full-service stove shop. Contact them today to take care of your chimney cleaning and inspection or pellet stove cleaning. When you have your chimney or pellet stove cleaned, they'll not only be safer and more reliable, but they'll perform better too, giving off more heat while using less fuel. Make an appointment today and get that chimney taken care of. with Somerset Stone and Stove, 1078 Kennedy Memorial Drive in Oakland. Online at somersetstoneandstove.com.
I'm CBS 13 meteorologist Lexi O'Connor. Rain and snow this morning, eventually changing to snow even at the coast, with temperatures dropping into the mid to upper 30s. Heaviest snow accumulations will be inland and through the mountains, and it will be windy. Rain and snow tapers to showers tonight into tomorrow morning, staying cloudy tomorrow with highs in the 40s, mostly cloudy, highs around 50 on Sunday.
That was kind of a weird transition, wasn't it? I am not a professional. Okay. Welcome back. Legacy 1160 WSKW. 940 right now. And I told you we would talk about the race issues. They are fixable. They are being caused by leftist agitators. I mean, I'm talking about politicians. I'm talking about your virtue signaling white people who have nothing better to do than find something to bitch about and blame conservatives for. I mean, I will always tell you how it is, how I see it. And you know what? I'm right. All right? I'm right. You want to dispute me? Go ahead. You post. I don't have a phone here to take phone calls. I get sick and tired of idiot callers swearing on the radio anyway, so I'd rather not have you call if that's what you're going to do. No skin off my nose. It makes you look like an idiot, that's all. But I had a run recently of callers just dropping swears on the radio. And I'm sorry, I'm beyond that. I've been in this business too long to deal with that kind of crap from people who disagree politely, or just stay out of the fray. I don't know as they know how to disagree politely. I really don't. Okay, let me see. Race. There's so much stuff to talk about when it comes to racial news, and sadly, we have to talk about it. I wish we were beyond this. I really do. I hold nothing against, as I say, nice people. If a black person is bad, horrible, I dislike them. If a white person is horrible, deplorable, I dislike them. I just don't associate with bad people. Who does? Good morning, Mikkel. Good to see you back, buddy. But they make us think about race. The MRC, Media Research Center, and this is all about race too. This whole Georgia thing is really something I love to use as an example of the ambitions of the leftists to drive the wedge between the races. And sadly, the racists start at the very top. Because although they loved calling Donald Trump a racist, it was very, very hard to prove. In fact, I think it was unprovable. He might have said some things in the past, but where, during his term as president, where was he racist? Where? You show me. Even Van Jones, the black communist, CNN commentator, said Donald Trump, despite the fact we hate him because we're Democrats, we have to hate him. He admitted he didn't like Trump. He excoriated Trump all the time. But even Van Jones said Donald Trump actually did some good things for the black community. Oh boy, I'll tell you that the left went unhinged on him for that. They went unhinged on him because he said something true. Because if you said something true about Donald Trump, it most normally had to be something good. If it were true, if it were a lie, which it most always was, it was always bad. But when you told the truth, it was normally good about Donald Trump. And Van Jones made the mistake of telling the truth, and the left came unhinged because they are out of their minds. They are, woohoo! Cocoa for Cocoa Puffs. Cocoa for Cocoa Puffs. Woohoo! I'm out of my mind. I'm out of my mind. I'm nuts. I'm a nut job. I'm a whack job. They might as well run around saying that because they are. They are whack jobs. You say something true that's good about Donald Trump, you are disowned, you are canceled, you don't belong in our party anymore. So Van Jones was taken apart by the ladies on The View because he said Donald Trump did some good things for black people. For example, the First Step Act, prisons. Well, there you go. Joe Biden, Barack Obama never did that. Joe Biden made it worse back in the 90s. With his reform, more blacks were getting put in jail with Joe Biden. So we'll elect him, right? Yeah, smart. Wicked smart, as we'd say here in Maine. Okay, so he did that. First Step Act. What else did? Oh, yes, about the lowest black unemployment and Hispanic unemployment in history. Yeah, that was under Trump. And this is all stuff Van Jones, communist, said. He said this. He corroborated this. It's because it's true. That's why they hated to hear it. And what? Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Here's a good one. He made sure in his 4 years, he made sure historically black colleges and universities got more funding than Obama-Biden did in 8 years. But Joe's going to do better. He's going to unite us. Come on, man. Can't you see through this crap? It's crap. It's nonsense. It's bull. Wish I could say that. I wish I could say that. We're on broadcast radio. I can't. There's never been a more, thank you, Jim. Here's what Jim says, and he's right. He is right. There's never been a more racist president than Biden. History can't be disputed. Mark Levin said on Life, Liberty, and Levin last week that Joe Biden is the most racist president since Woodrow Wilson. He's racist. So how'd he get elected by a majority of black voters? Well, because the loud voices of the left, the loud, angry voices of the left. You can't argue when somebody's loud, they make their point better, apparently. When they're loud and angry, they must be right. Am I right? What else? Does nobody look at history? Does nobody say, let's see if any of this is true? Or do they not? If they did, Trump would have been reelected in a landslide. In my mind, he should be president today, but, that ship has sailed, hasn't it? So let's not dwell on that right now. So the Georgia law, I love this because this shows beyond a shadow of a doubt, not only that Kamala and Joe and the rest of them, Pelosi, I'm not going to go through all the names. They're all racists. They're all racist. And this shows it beyond a shadow of a doubt. And so is the Major League Baseball, Coca-Cola, Delta, and Tech, others. They're all of the same ilk. They are. They're all racist in their own way. So the new Georgia law, designed to improve the integrity of elections in Georgia, has been maligned and continues to be maligned by racist Joe Biden, calling it Jim Crow on steroids, Jim Crow 2.0. They're all the Joy Reid on it's Jim Crow 2.0. Joy Reid, shut up. Shut up. You are a scourge on media. Everybody on that network is a scourge on media, starting with Chuck Todd right there at the top. So the Washington Post fact checker, Washington Post, you know who runs the what? Jeff Bezos, right? Amazon, big time lib, Jeff Bezos. His paper, Washington Post, friendly. They love the left. For these assertions by Joe Biden, the always liberal-friendly Washington Post gave Joe Biden a maximum 4 Pinocchios for his Georgia assertions. But that didn't stop people from believing, did it? Didn't stop people from believing the loud voices. Didn't stop Major League Baseball from moving the All-Star game and the draft, did it? No, it didn't. Loud voices win. Not common sense, not objectivity, not truth. Loud, angry voices win. And those who listen to loud, angry voices over rational, objective truth are ignorant. Okay, do you fit that category? Are you one of the ignorant ones? Because if you fit that category, you are. If you're believing anything about the law in Georgia, by the way, here in the great state of Maine, I have it on good authority that some, including Shenna Bellows of Manchester, who is invited on this show to defend herself, if she can. Shenna Bellows, our Secretary of State, former senator, made the assertion, I don't know if this is paraphrasing because I didn't hear her say this. We got this from a representative on the phone the other day with our legislative update. Shenna Bellows, she insinuated that if you're for voter ID, you're a white supremacist. Well, I got news for you, honey. That's right. I called you honey, Shenna. Sorry if I offended you. Sorry. Let me tell you something. Most blacks think it's an insult. To say it's racist for voters to have to show ID. How about that? So who's the white supremacist? Who's the racist? Me thinks it's you, Shenna Bellows, and a bunch of the Democrats who are there with you in the Maine legislature. So the Media Research Center, which is known for monitoring the bias of established media, took up the issue of racism and Jim Crow laws in a video. They say TV journalists, and we know who they are. We have them on here all the time. We feature them many times. TV journalists are carrying water for Democrats by framing the new Georgia voting laws as racist and white supremacist. So while Biden, Harris, Major League Baseball, Coke, Delta, and the news media are inciting anger and dividing us as between races, between political ideologies, between whatever they divide us any way they can, because it's all a means to an end. They want full control. They want socialism. They want communism. There's no arguing it if you're a smart person. If you're a dumb person and you're going to keep drinking the Kool-Aid, drink away, but keep your mouth shut, because we're not going to lose America because you're sitting there and lying all the time, as the media is. Stop believing legacy media. I'm not talking about Legacy 1160. I'm talking about mainstream media here. Here is the Media Research Center. I want you to listen to this. This is some truth on the matter of what is going on in Georgia and how the mainstream media is framing it so incorrectly.
Georgia's new voting law is getting a lot of heat from the press.
Georgia's Republican governor has just signed a sweeping new law aimed at making it harder for people in his state to vote.
Is this
all voter suppression in action?
Clearly, the broadest attempt to make it more difficult for Americans to vote since the Jim Crow era before the Voting Rights Act.
First of all, let's get this out of the way. The bill has nothing to do with Jim Crow. Anyone making that claim is trying to sell you a political narrative. Even the Washington Post admits Georgia's voting law is less strict than what's on the books in some deep blue states. Delaware, Washington, Connecticut all have stricter voting laws, to name a few.
Democrats call it voter suppression, saying that those ID requirements, new limits on drop box usage, and banning anyone except a poll worker from offering water to voters in line all restrict access to the ballot.
The law limits ballot drop boxes, adds new requirements for mail-in voting, and makes it a crime for anyone other than a poll worker to offer food and water to voters waiting in line.
Okay, so these are the big three arguments that you'll hear the most from the media. First, the voting drop boxes. They claim it limits drop boxes, but this one's objectively not true. Before the law was passed, there was no law in Georgia requiring drop boxes. So the law doesn't limit them, it establishes them. Next, ID requirements. Georgia already required ID for in-person voting. All this law does is eliminate signature matching for absentee ballots, and instead, they're now verifying absentee ballots by requiring an ID number. So this one is just the years old, it's racist to expect people to own an ID nonsense. Which, by the way, a Gallup poll found that voter ID laws are incredibly popular, regardless of race. A 2016 poll found 80% of respondents in favor, only 19% opposed. Here's the breakdown by race and party affiliation. All above 50%. Nobody's buying the requiring ID is racist line anymore. Everyone's heard it before, it's insulting. Last of the big 3 points. No more handing out water to people standing in line to vote. Sounds extreme until you consider what happened in Georgia's 6th district, when Democrat activists started handing out bottles of water to people in line while urging them to vote Democrat. This is why we can't have nice things. Every state has laws against campaigning at the polls. This is just closing a loophole. Fortunately, though, no one's going to die of dehydration. People can still set up food trucks, lemonade stands, pretty much whatever. It just has to be 150 feet away from a polling station. People waiting in line are able to go purchase something, save their spot, go back, and there's no penalty.
Rolling back voter rights. The Republican push in more than 40 states to limit voting access.
Georgia's more restrictive voting law.
Georgia's Jim Crow voter suppression law.
A couple of things wrong with this. It's not even accurate to say that the bill makes it harder to vote. It's absurd to say that it was designed to make it harder to vote. Let's touch on the idea that it restricts early voting. That's just not true. Don't just take that from me. Here's the Washington Post. Quote, the new bill requires at least 2 Saturdays of early voting for each primary and general election. Previous Georgia law required only 1. The left also makes a big deal out of long voting lines as voter suppression. Well, the Georgia law does something about that too. If lines are longer than 1 hour, officials are required to try to alleviate them. They can set up extra temporary polling locations, for example, and the bill gives them the resources to do this. This mostly applies to highly populated urban areas. Does any of this sound like voter suppression yet? So, big picture here. Obviously, the Jim Crow rhetoric is a cynical smear. It's hard to imagine anyone using that language actually believes it themselves. But the lie actually goes further than that. It's not just that the bill isn't draconian, it isn't even restrictive by modern standards. When the media call this law voter suppression, they're taking advantage of the fact that 99% of us will never read the bill itself. And they're using that to distort public perception. Don't fall for political talking points masquerading as news.
Well, there you go. There you go. And that's the problem. Basically saying that by doing this, by saying it's Jim Crow on steroids, by saying it's racist, by lying and saying people can't have water and food brought to them in line, by saying that voter ID is racist, they know that people aren't paying attention. Knee-jerk reactions are the worst thing anyone can do. And the left, this is how they live. Knee-jerk reactions is how they live. Look at what's going on in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota right now. Instead of dealing with the issue, with the incident as an individual incident, you have people, we'll get into that next hour. There was more violence against the police last night. The police officer that was involved, who made the tragic mistake, nobody can figure out how that even happened. Trust me, it was a tragedy. Even if I believe that it was an accident. I choose to believe, or I hope it was. But even if it was intentional, the person responsible is now out of the picture, gone, not there anymore. So is the police chief. So is the city manager. Because the mayor of Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, doesn't believe in due process. He said so. He said it's in the but isn't it in the Fifth Amendment? The Democratic left does not care about the Constitution. Now, if you're one of those on the left who doesn't care about the Constitution, then we have nothing more to talk about. Feel free to leave now. Feel free to unfriend me if we're friends on any social media now. But if you're objective and saying, yeah, that's actually true, they really don't care about the Constitution, I wish they did, then listen to me. Listen to me and learn. And let's at least get you to understand what is going on here. None of it is good. It's all tyrannical. Some want it. Some don't mind. Some want the government telling them how to live. They want a parent, so to speak, telling them how to live their lives. We've got to take a break. We've got news, and we'll be right back. Please stick around. I'm John James. This is Freedom's Pep Rally.
Legacy 1160, WSKW.
Are you looking for a job that gets you home on time at night with days off on weekends and holidays on top of excellent pay and benefits? CMD Power Systems of Herman is looking to hire a full-time residential and commercially licensed electrician. Benefits include health, dental, and competitive 401k program. Come work for one of the best teams around who know how to treat their employees right. Contact CMD Power Systems by phone at 848-7702 or stop in at 42 Gates Way in Herman to apply today.
This is Molly from Rod Cycle and RV. We're about a year into the pandemic, and we're all searching for some sort of normalcy. Picture yourself sitting by the campfire with friends and family, your favorite drink in hand, sharing stories and laughing. I bet you thought of a specific night. We want to help you find your normal. We have a large selection of new and pre-loved travel trailers and fifth wheels, fully stocked parts store, and the best camper service around. Rod Cycle and RV, Route 201 Madison, or online at rodcycleandrv.com. We're not trying to be the biggest, but always trying to be the best.
What's important here at Moody's is we have a lot of opportunity for upward mobility.
Moody's definitely helped me through. They sent me to school. I got my degree in business. I had the demeanor and I had the willpower and the want.
Our trade is constantly changing and there's always new challenges that arise.
I definitely feel like an owner. It's very exciting.
When you like what you do, you like your job, you like the people you work with, what else could you ask for?
Bring your skills to Moody's and build a long-term future with us.
Many things change over time, but since 1972, one thing hasn't changed at all. That Delta Ambulance will always be there when you need them most. Delta Ambulance prides themselves on having a team that utilizes superior training, years of experience, and state-of-the-art medical technologies. So if you need safe transportation for routine or critical care transfers, Delta Ambulance is standing by. Learn more about the difference Delta makes at deltaambulance.org. Compassion, leadership, excellence. That's Delta Ambulance.
From the Home Auto Group Studios, Farmington Ford and Franklin Chrysler in Farmington. This is WSKW, Skowhegan, Augusta, Waterville, Legacy 1160. Legacy 1160, WSKW.
Hey folks, who's thinking about spring? Hi, this is Bernie from Trailside Performance. If you're taking on those tough chores around your property, come check out the #1 selling farm tractor in the world, Mahindra. Not only are Mahindra tractors tough, but they come with a 7-year warranty to back it up. With Mahindra, there's no regeneration, no diesel particulate filter, and no hassle. I personally invite you to our Winslow or Newport location to learn more about Mahindra and their awesome discounts and finance programs. At Trailside Performance, we service what we sell, and we sell Mahindra.
What's important here at Moody's is we have a lot of opportunity for upward mobility.
Moody's definitely helped me through. They sent me to school. I got my degree in business. I had the demeanor and I had the willpower and the want.
Our trade is constantly changing and there's always new challenges that arise.
I definitely feel like an owner. It's very exciting.
When you like what you do, you like your job, you like the people you work with, what else could you ask for?
Bring your skills to Moody's and build a long-term future with us.
Spring is the time of renewal for both you and your home. So brighten your day and your surroundings with great items from Town Line Antiques. Do you love classic decor? You'll find furniture, artwork, glassware, signs, and hundreds more pieces around every corner. Their classic colors and styles will have you thinking spring and feeling invigorated every time you see them. Or maybe you enjoy collecting books, comics, coins, sports memorabilia, watches, or classic electronics. Town Line Antiques has rare items that you won't find anywhere else. Town Line is also showcasing a new display of art glass that's absolutely dazzling. Each piece is one of a kind, with its own unique flair of colors and form. You simply have to see them to appreciate their beauty. And for everyone who loves to bring items back to life, they're now carrying high-quality fusion mineral paints that give you beautiful color and a durable, long-lasting finish. Town Line Antiques, open Tuesday through Sunday from 10 to 5. Route 201, right on the Winslow-Vassalboro Town Line.
ABC News, I'm Faith Abubing. President Biden will be briefed this morning on the overnight shooting at a FedEx facility in Indianapolis that left 8 people dead.
This is a sight that no one should ever have to see.
That's Janae Cook with the Indianapolis Police Department. The shooter killed himself at the scene. ABC's Alex Stone has more.
At this point, sources are telling ABC News a motive for the shooting is unclear. They don't know if it was workplace violence. That is one possibility they're looking at if the shooter worked at FedEx. Sources say there is no indication the shooting is linked to terrorism. When officers arrived on scene, they say 8 people were dead and 5 more had gunshot injuries and were sent to hospitals.
FedEx said it's deeply shocked and saddened at the loss of its team members. More protests in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, after last weekend's shooting death of Dante Wright. He was killed when a veteran police officer says she mistook her gun for her taser. Kim Potter has resigned and is now facing manslaughter charges. This is ABC News. Google Earth taking users on a new journey through climate change using millions of satellite images. Here's ABC's Todd Ant.
The tool was unveiled Thursday, billed as the biggest update to Google Earth in 5 years. The video feature draws upon nearly 4 decades of satellite imagery to vividly illustrate how climate change has affected glaciers, beaches, forests, and other places around the world. Google says they worked in concert with several government agencies, including NASA and its European counterpart, to put the project together. One climate scientist previewed the video and believes this will get people to understand the scope of climate change and could change many people's minds about the scale of the impact of humans on the environment. Todd Ant, ABC News.
And pretty soon, Bitcoin won't be worth anything in Turkey. The country is banning the use of cryptocurrency to pay for goods or services. Turkey's central bank says the currencies present too much risk because of their anonymous nature and the fact that there's no central control. The ban goes into effect at the end of the month. Faith Abube, ABC News.
The Wendy's restaurant in your area has issued a major bag alert.
Bag alert, major bag alert.
The bacon double stack is back in the biggie bag with fries, nugs, and a drink, all for just $5. The following are to be expected: joy, disbelief, inability to think about anything else. This deal is effective immediately, and it's only at Wendy's.
Major bag alert. Bag alert. Major
Biggie bag includes 4-piece nuggets, small fry, and small drink. U.S. price and participation may vary.
Research shows that people remember radio ads with repetition. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, here's a repetitive ad. Okay. Research shows that people remember radio ads with repetition, so to help you remember the Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, here's a repetitive ad. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Legacy 1160 WSKW. John James at your service here Freedom's Pep Rally. Getting it going for you here. Was there could you hear the elements okay? Yeah, it looks like you could. I don't know if we're having a problem with the on-air feed or not. Everything seems good here. I think we're all good right here. Hey, come on over here. 621-9759. That's the number to call. I give that number out just out of habit. I don't have that phone line right here for your information. The news sucks and the Democrats are responsible for all shootings. That's Heather checking in here. I don't get it. I don't get why, what the correlation is between Democrat administrations and mass shootings. I don't understand it. But, I'm not saying there isn't one, because there may be. There may be. We're never going to hear the truth about that, if there is. But since Biden came into office, the mass shootings sure seem to be up, don't they? We've got 10:08 right now on Legacy 1160 WSKW. Yeah, it is about gun control. I still can't figure out how they correlate, but it's very interesting to me, a very interesting dynamic that we have noticed, no question about that. Racist Joy Reid. Oh boy, every day I find something about Joy Reid. And I've always got audio from Joy Reid. We need to know what our enemies are doing in order to be able to counter their attacks. And the enemies are people like Joy Reid. On Wednesday's Readout, formerly AM Joy, raging racist Reid pushed a rage-filled, hateful suggestion that Republicans are modern-day Republicans, you and I mean, okay, what do we want to do? We want to go around, we want to live our lives. We want to live our lives. I mean, how can even leftists say that Republicans are outraging and beating people and burning things down? What do? We just want to live our lives. I mean, if you can't admit that, then you're stupid. You're dumb. You're a sheep. You're just listening to what people are telling you. We see with our eyes what Democrats are doing. We see what they're doing, the destruction, the killing, the fires, everything else. We see it. And I hate to hang up on my daughter, but she doesn't know I'm on the air here from the home office, so I have to do that. Hold on a second. I will have to tell her this happens. Hello, Michelle. Where I am on the air from the home studio. If you would call your mother's cell phone, that would be great. We are on the air right now. That's okay. Thank you. Bye-bye. I hope I didn't ruin her day by doing that. She didn't know. I should tell the kids when I'm doing the show from home. You never know who's going to be calling. So anyway, raging racist Reid was discussing a Senate hearing on threats facing America and the full withdrawal of U.S. troops from Afghanistan. And she warned, because raging racist Reid knows, she warned, we can't stay anywhere forever, especially when we've got home security threats in terms of violent white nationalism that's threatening our capital. Okay, so what's she doing? She's going back to January 6th. She's talking about violence and problems in America. Yeah, in every major Democratic city in America. We've got rioting, we've got fires, we've got people throwing things at police officers. We've got people calling for defunding the police right now, right under your filthy, stinking nose, Joy Reid. But all she can focus on is the armed insurrection of January 6th, because that's all they've got. They'll be talking about that until the next election in 2024. It's going to be every night she'll open with, well, we've got to avoid another armed insurrection like on 1/6. So this is what she's got. She cannot shut up about it. Why don't leftists get sick of hearing this all the time? Why don't you get sick of hearing about it? I mean, at least on a show like this, you've got the latest news. You've got what is happening in the here and now. What is going on? What needs to be addressed? What needs to be redressed? What needs to be gone over? What needs to be fixed? What needs to be changed? What is the landscape? Every day, it's something new, something different. Every night on her show, it's all about the armed insurrection and white supremacy. Because she is a shallow racist. Joy Reid. Listen, she just can't get over 1/6 when only one person was killed, and it happened to be a Trump supporter shot by security. Listen.
We can't stay anywhere forever, especially when we've got home security threats in terms of violent white nationalism that's threatening our capital. When we've got our own former president inciting people into violence and pushing them more into this violent white extremism, much the way bin Laden, did, sort of inspiring people to be this way. Do you feel, as somebody who ran DHS, that we've got to turn our focus here because we've got our own internal terroristic threats to deal with?
My short answer to your question is yes.
This far-right extremism menace, it feels to me like it's sort of a piece with what we used to think of as the terrorism that was the most fearful for us. This just feels far more sort of prescient to me, or far more sort of urgent to me. Does it to you?
Yes. Well, first of all, it's very insidious because it is within our midst already. Whether you're talking about white supremacist groups, neo-Nazis, militia groups, and others, I think this growth of domestic violent extremists is something that is very worrisome. And that's what the challenge is for our law enforcement, our intelligence, and our homeland security professionals.
All of these reports about the 1/6 attack are just more and more troubling.
1/6. There you go.
And I feel like we're not in a moral standing that we used to be in terms of telling the world that we care about democracy and can protect democracy abroad. When we've got people, Capitol Police ignoring intelligence and, just the deficiencies on January 6th, how much of a hole are we in, and how much of a hole does Biden have to dig us out of at this point, morally around the world?
How self-important is this woman morally around the world? She's morally bankrupt. I really believe that. Yet MSNBC loves her. Well, look at what they have on there. They will accept anything. They have Brian Williams. They have Al Sharpton. Oh, this is a news organization. Chuck Todd ought to be ashamed, but he's not, because he's just like him. Chuck Todd, he's the newsman. He knows everything because he's Chuck Todd. You don't mess with Chuck. Meet the press, Chuck. So anyway, Joy Reid commands zero respect. She should be arrested for inciting violence. Like she does it on her show every night. She's more guilty than Donald Trump ever was of ginning up hate and anger and violence. Joy Reid. Yeah, Lion Brian Williams. Right, yeah. A leftist preaching morals and morality. Don't you love it? It's ridiculous on its face. You're right. Comment if you want to interact with us. I would love for you to do that. It is Facebook. We're all over Facebook. All brought to you by Moody's Collision Center, by the way. We're on, trying to think of all the platforms. Right America Media, Legacy 1160, American Women Who Bear Arms, Freedom's Pep Rally with John James, and my personal page. We're on YouTube, and we're on other platforms as well. All brought to you by Moody's. Heather, you ask a question that I was wondering too. Heather asks, did Juan Williams get fired? I don't know. Juan Williams was usually on the 5 every night. I have no idea. I know they've gotten into some pretty hot dust-ups. I haven't heard that he got fired. I actually did Google that the other day. I couldn't find that he had. But I don't know if he got fired or not. But one thing's for certain, he hasn't been there recently. That's for sure. He was the liberal on the 5. You know, and I didn't mind him. I didn't really dislike him. I didn't agree with much that he said, but he did provide for a little bit of back and forth. No question about that. All right, let's see. I've just lost my place here. It's only a momentary loss of place. Trust me on this. So BLM, wrong about racism. Black Lives Matter is not for Black lives. Black Lives Matter is for the leaders, the Marxist leaders, getting rich, as has been proven with this Patrisse Cullors. I forget. I know it's a hyphenated last name. I forget what her hyphenated last name is. But she has purchased his, not his, she's purchased, I was trying to concentrate on some of the things coming in here. They don't like him no more on the 5. Oh, he made Muslim comments. I didn't hear about that. Interesting. He was also fired from NPR. That's correct, Rick. And I can't remember what the reason for that was. So anyway, Patrisse Cullors is all about getting rich off donations that she solicits and buying homes everywhere in white neighborhoods, apparently. Larry Elder is a black attorney. He's also a conservative talk show host. He understands the black community. He also understands where the Marxist organization Black Lives Matter is completely wrong in what it's doing, what it says is its mission, because its mission, what it says is its mission, and what it actually does are totally and completely opposite, and it's very hypocritical, but nobody's seeing this because they believe what they're told and not what the truth is, because whoever gets to the leftist first are the ones who are believed, as long as it's a leftist ideology. Sometimes people can be won over, and that's the goal of this show, to hopefully get some people to wake up, really wake up, not just supposed woke, which is a lie too. That's hypocritical as well, but to really wake up, to really get up, wake up and become objective. Now, Larry Elder knows that while BLM wants to focus on systemic racism, reparations, redistribution of wealth, Elder says it has more to do with lack of a nuclear family, which ironically the organization seems to be against. How about that? Elder was on with Tucker Carlson, and while he says they're completely off with what they claim to stand for, it is impressive how powerful they have become in such a short time.
It is pretty impressive how powerful they've become. And if you look at some of the written demands that they've made over the past few years, it's pretty clear this is all about transferring property from white people to black people. It's the same premise as is reparations, the extraction of property and money from people who are never slave owners to be given to people who are never slaves. The whole thing is ridiculous. You know, right now we're working on a vaccine for the coronavirus, Tucker. Let's suppose they came up with a vaccine to get rid of racism in America. Will we still have 70% of black kids being raised outside of without fathers? Will we still have a 50% urban high school dropout rate in some cities? Would there still be 25% of young black men having criminal records? If that is true, then the elimination of white racism is not going to solve the problem, and we're going to always be searching for elusive solutions if that's the goal. The problem is the proliferation of children having children of unwed fathers in our homes. 70% of black kids are now raised without fathers. And Barack Obama once said a kid raised without a father is 5 times more likely to be poor and commit crime, 9 times more likely to drop out of school, 20 times more likely to end up in jail. It is far and away the biggest problem facing America, and the eradication of white racism will not solve these problems.
There you go. That's Larry Elder, the great Larry Elder. The eradication of white racism is never going to be completely solved. Nor is the eradication of black racism. Why is that? Well, you know why that is. You know why that is. People are not perfect. People are imperfect. Many are judgmental. Many are intolerant of anyone who's different in any way. I like to believe that's a very low percentage of people that need to be dealt with when they cause harm. But that's not most of us. To focus on destroying an entire system, to excoriate an entire race of people because a minority of racists and haters are present is ethically and morally wrong. How does that even make sense? That hurts. That hurts. I'm not going to lie to you. When somebody, says, hey, you're a racist. When they were doing that to me, I mean, that hurt. Because I know I'm not. What have I done? What have I ever done? Somebody tell me, what have I done that makes me a racist? I've never said a bad thing about anyone of any color, unless they're an evil person. Then I don't care what color they are. I don't care what color they are. Just because I get angry at idiots, if they happen to be black, doesn't make me a racist. I'm sorry. I get just as mad, if not more mad, at white idiots. And I can name a bunch of them sitting there in Washington, D.C. on their high thrones, making laws, changing America because they don't like America, trying to pack the Supreme Court because they don't like America. Truth. Absolutely true. Let's do the Supreme Court. Let's talk about the Supreme Court. Yeah, they're trying to pack it. Joe Biden, we don't want to pack the Supreme Court. It's bad. It's bad. Executive orders, tyrants do the... Well, Joe Biden is Joe Biden. You can count on Joe Biden to change his mind when it suits his needs. So he went from during the campaign, executive orders are for tyrants, to making the most executive orders and the most unbelievably substantial executive orders maybe in the history of the country. And he's not done. He's not done. He'll do whatever he can by executive orders. He ruined our oil industry. Have you noticed food prices, gas prices, everything's going up since Biden took. That's because of Trump. Shut up. Shut up. Nobody believes you. Nobody accepts that. You are a liar. You are a mook. You are a moron. Just shut up. I know your side believes you. Your side believes you because they are clearly as out of it as you are. And you're pretty out of it, Joe. You are pretty out of the loop. In fact, I heard a video last night. You remember when he got to the end of some kind of a congressional thing, and he said, if you want me to take questions now, I will. Whatever you want me to do, Nance. And then the feed ended. Apparently, there was more to the feed that was captured. And I heard it last night. And it was Nancy Pelosi saying, we don't want him to talk. They don't want him to talk. Keep him harnessed. Keep him muzzled. Because he says stupid things. Because he doesn't know what he's doing. Who is running the show? It's anybody's guess. Susan Rice in part. I know that. Susan Rice is working on voting. She's working on mail-in voting. That's one of her new jobs. We know how well that went during the 2020 election, don't we? So packing the court. Let's talk about packing the court. Democrats rolled out new legislation to expand the Supreme Court. After Joe Biden said, no, we shouldn't expand the Supreme Court. Well, Joe, you're the president. Say something. Joe is being silent. He did say we have a blue ribbon panel to the side. So he went from, and what about the memory of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who said it would be wrong to add justices to the Supreme Court because that's going to make it, in essence, just another leftist Democratic body. That's what it's going to do because they want to add 4 liberal justices. Legislation was introduced by Senator Ed Markey of Massachusetts, House Judiciary Chair Jerry the Gnome Nadler, and Representatives Hank Johnson of Georgia and Mondaire Jones. This would enlarge the Supreme Court to 13 seats. And the lawmakers say it would restore balance to a court that currently holds a 6-3 conservative majority. When it was liberal majority, that was okay. That was fine. Why? Why now? It doesn't seem to be that conservative to me. And by the way, John Roberts is not really a conservative. And we all know what a tone-deaf hack Jerry Nadler is, Jerry the Gnome Nadler. Mondaire Jones is new, fresh from academia with no real life experience. Hank Johnson of Georgia, we'll get to him in a minute. Ed Markey of Massachusetts. You know what his claim to fame is? He was the first person to beat a Kennedy in the Bay State. And then there's Hank Johnson, who once... This is epic. And this is going to sound like I'm making it up, but I've got audio to back me up. Whenever I say something that just sounds so stupid that it's hard to believe, I have audio to back it up, and I've got it right here. Hank Johnson of Georgia once seriously worried that the island of Guam could become overpopulated and, wait for it, capsize. Hank Johnson, Georgia Democrat, worried that the island of Guam could become overpopulated, too many people on one side, and it would capsize. It would tip over. I know, right? You're saying, you liar. You're just trying to make the Democrats seem stupider than they are. No, I'm not. Absolutely not. Here is actual audio of Johnson. This is Johnson, straight-faced, questioning Admiral Robert Willard, who did very well to keep his composure. Now, he starts, and I've gone in to this cut quite a ways because he spent what seemed like an endless amount of time trying to figure out the dimensions of Guam. You know, like a boat, it's sort of shaped, it's narrow and long, so he's trying to figure out the dimensions. And then he makes a statement that may be the most idiotic statement anybody in Congress has ever made. Here is the amazing one. Excuse me. Here's the amazing one, Hank Johnson.
So 24 miles long, about 7 miles wide at the least widest place on the island, and about 12 miles wide on the widest part of the island. And I don't know how many square miles that is. Do you happen to know?
I don't have that figure with me, sir. I can certainly supply it to you if you'd like.
Yeah, my fear is that the whole island will become so overly populated that it will tip over and capsize.
We don't anticipate that.
I told you. Told you I wasn't making it up. Hank Johnson. Afraid the island will become so overly populated that it will capsize. True story. Well, Jerry the Gnome Nadler says 13 is a good number. That's the number of justices they want. The Democrats want on the Supreme Court, because that would give them the majority then. It's what they want. And he said 13 is a good number because it matches the number of circuits. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we'll go with that. It matches the number of circuits. Here's Jerry Nadler.
Our predecessors made eminent sense when they pegged the size of the Supreme Court to the number of judicial circuits. As our country has grown, so too to the Supreme Court. 13 justices for 13 circuits is a logical progression. And that is another reason why I'm glad to join my colleagues in introducing the Judiciary Act of 2021 to establish the Supreme Court size as 13. That's a nice number. It's not a nice number. It's a proper number. It matches the number of circuits, and it also will enable us to do justice and to rectify the great injustice that was done in packing the court. And some people will say we're packing the court. We're not packing it. We're unpacking it. Senator McConnell and the Republicans packed the court over the last couple of years, as Senator Markey outlined.
Oh, they're not packing it. They're unpacking. They're unpacking the court. Got that? More judges were added to the circuit courts because there were vacancies on the circuit courts, including the Ninth Circuit Court, which was you talk about lopsided, Jerry. You talk about lopsided. It's still somewhat lopsided after Trump and McConnell added all those more conservative judges. It's still a liberal circuit court, but nobody whined and cried about that. Nobody worried about that. Jerry Nadler didn't say a word when it was the right could not win a victory in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. Could not pay for a victory. Democrats never complained, but now that there are more conservatives added to the circuit courts, now Jerry Nadler, he's Trump and all these judges. Well, that was what he was charged with doing. He did nothing wrong, Jerry. Why your panties in a bunch now, you little gnome? You little Antifa denying gnome? Why? I know why. Even knowing all that, Massachusetts Senator Markey lies. And he says Republicans stole the court.
Even while Americans were casting ballots, Leader McConnell and his Republican colleagues confirmed Amy Coney Barrett to the court to fill the seat held by the late, great Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So much for letting the people weigh in. As a result, we have a stilted, illegitimate 6-3 conservative majority on the court that has caused this crisis of confidence in our country. The Republicans stole 2 seats on the Supreme Court, and now it is up to us to repair that damage.
Oh, did you hear that? It's a crisis of confidence. They've got to repair the damage so they can be sure that helpless babies can continue to be euthanized, and they can end capital punishment once and for all, so they can make sure the killers and rapist pedophiles live to offend again. Sounds like the moral equivalent of letting Jeffrey Epstein teach a sex ed class in grammar school, doesn't it? Where, by the way, they don't learn grammar anymore. Just saying. Just an observation. So Fox News contributor and great black voice, Lawrence Jones, commented on this very situation last night as he does some guest hosting. Lawrence Jones is quite an amazing guy. And here's what he had to say on Fox News.
Hi, I'm Lawrence Jones, and tonight the high court hijacking is underway. A coalition of far-left Democrats convened this afternoon to roll out their most radical agenda point yet, packing the Supreme Court.
The United States Supreme Court is broken. It is out of balance. Leader Mitch McConnell, his Senate Republican colleagues, and Donald Trump broke it. The Republicans stole 2 seats on the Supreme Court, and now it is up to us to repair that damage.
There can be no justification for what they did. And how can Americans look at the Supreme Court and expect it to do justice, to do equal justice, when it has been so severely politically and obviously politically manipulated?
Their plan? Create 4 new seats on the court and let Joe Biden nominate anyone he wants. Now, I'm not a math guy, but if conservatives have a 6-3 advantage on the court and the Democrats add 4 new justices, that would give the left a 7-6 lead. What a convenient set of circumstances. But don't you dare say they're packing the court.
Some people will say we're packing the court. We're not packing it. We're unpacking it.
Thanks for clarifying, Jerry. Now, Mitch McConnell sees right through this Democrat takeover.
Time and again, prominent Democrats show they're no longer content to work within the ground rules and norms of our institutions, but prefer to threaten the institutions themselves. We've seen it in presidential elections. When Democrats say our democracy is sacrosanct, when they win, but illegitimate and broken if Republicans win.
Now, I know he's a Republican. You don't believe him? Well, this is Ed Markey today demanding we expand the Supreme Court to 13 justices. And then this is Ed Markey in 2016 saying we only needed 9. I tell you, if Ed Markey didn't have double standards, he'd have no standards at all. Now, Joe Biden got the ball rolling when he formed the Supreme Court Commission last week. But Democrats know this bill is a hard sell. Take Nancy Pelosi. She says she won't even bring it to the floor for a vote. But Ed Markey thinks she'll come around. And when she does, he'll be ready to get rid of the filibuster and pass it anyway.
Well, ultimately, we have to repeal the filibuster. And then we can move this legislation as they can move the legislation in the House of Representatives right now with a majority of the votes.
See, if you haven't noticed, Democrats have this all planned out. They want to abolish the filibuster, jam through their radical agenda, and pack the court to uphold their outrageous laws, all in the name of restoring democracy. That leads me to ask one question. Have Democrats lost control of their party?
They most certainly have. They've lost control of the fringe of their party. There aren't many left who haven't followed the shepherd, who haven't drank the Kool-Aid. And the leaders are, they're people you wouldn't expect, like AOC, like Ilhan Omar. It's the older people understand that the younger people have much more power and respect among the young indoctrinated people in this country than they do. So they have willingly followed them. The young squad members are the shepherds, and they have led the old ones, the tired old leftist, the angry leftist liberals further left. I mean, look at Chuck Schumer. Look at Nancy Pelosi. They've always been very left. They've always been way left of center, but they've gone even further now. And now they're just a parody of themselves, basically. We've got to take a quick break here. We'll be right back. I'm John James. This is Freedom's Pep Rally.
Legacy 1160, WSKW.
Hey folks, who's thinking about spring? Hi, this is Bernie from Trailside Performance. If you're taking on those tough chores around your property, come check out the #1 selling farm tractor in the world, Mahindra. Not only are Mahindra tractors tough, but they come with a 7-year warranty to back it up. With Mahindra, there's no regeneration, no diesel particulate filter, and no hassle. I personally invite you to our Winslow or Newport location to learn more about Mahindra and their awesome discounts and finance programs. At Trailside Performance, we service what we sell, and we sell Mahindra.
What's important here at Moody's is we have a lot of opportunity for upward mobility.
Moody's definitely helped me through. They sent me to school. I got my degree in business. I had the demeanor and I had the willpower and the want.
Our trade is constantly changing, and there's always new challenges that arise.
I definitely feel like an owner. It's very exciting.
When you like what you do, you like your job, you like the people you work with, what else could you ask for?
Bring your skills to Moody's and build a long-term future with us.
Drug Take-Back Day is coming Saturday, April 24th from 10 to 2. Prescriptions left in medicine cabinets are fueling Maine's drug epidemic. In 2020, Maine saw 502 drug overdose deaths, a record number that Maine is not proud of. Early reports suggest that 2021 may break that record, with 58 deaths caused by drugs in January alone. But you can help by safely disposing of unused, unwanted, or expired medications with no questions asked. To find a drop-off location for Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, April 24th in Somerset or Kennebec County, visit facebook.com/Somerset Public Health and click on events. Can't make it to Drug Take-Back Day? Don't worry. Secure prescription drug drop-off boxes are available anytime. A complete list of locations can be found at somersetpublichealth.org/meds. Make sure to check Somerset Public Health social media for tips on how to safely store medications as well. Don't wait. With your help, we can curb the drug epidemic in Maine.
I'm CBS 13 meteorologist Lexi O'Connor. Rain and snow this morning, eventually changing to snow even at the coast, with temperatures dropping into the mid to upper 30s. Heaviest snow accumulations will be inland and through the mountains, and it will be windy. Rain and snow tapers to showers tonight into tomorrow morning, staying cloudy tomorrow with highs in the 40s, mostly cloudy, highs around 50 on Sunday.
Welcome back, Freedom's Pep Rally. John James at your service. Would love to hear from you.
I've clearly dealt with discrimination, for example.
Okay, whoa. We ran an old sound clip. I have no idea where that was my fault. That was local. Yeah, I'm just asking. Someone checked the radio signal. The audio stream seems to be down, so I'm trying to reach out to somebody there at the radio station just to let them know. I'm not sure about on air because I don't have a signal in my studio here. Legacy 1160 WSKW is who we are. And again, John James here with Freedom's Pep Rally, all ready to rock and roll into some other stuff. I wanted to talk about Mike Lindell. We had talked about what Mike Lindell was up to. He's got a couple of big things going on. And you know it's a threat to the left when late night comedians make fun of it, because they are not late night comedians anymore. They are nothing more than leftist DNC hacks. They aren't funny. They aren't entertaining. And I can't imagine they're very well watched. And they've lost all credibility. I mean, they aren't political pundits. They don't know what's going on. All they know is a narrative, the leftist narrative. And They don't do their job. They don't do their job unless they're working for the DNC, in which case I guess they are doing their job. So Mike Lindell now is starting. He's got two new things that he has going on. He's a My Pillow guy. One of them is said to be like Twitter and YouTube. It's called frankspeech.com. I've already gone to the site. And I've signed up. It's not up yet, but you can sign up. He calls it free speech without a lot of swearing, no profanity allowed. The other one is being called a competitor to Amazon. It's called My Store, and that is up also at mystore.com. Now, if you like Mike Lindell or you don't like Mike Lindell, the guy thinks big, and he's got a backbone. And I really, really hope he surprises everyone, especially people like Jimmy Kimmel, who cannot stand anyone who has an ounce of conservatism in him. Here is Jimmy Kimmel talking about Mike Lindell, giving Mike Lindell all kinds of promotion with a not so funny, and this is their monologue now. They do liberal humor. And it's not really that funny. Here's Jimmy Kimmel talking about Mike Lindell.
Mike Lindell is launching a new social media platform for like-minded individuals who also got kicked off YouTube. It's called frankspeech.com. And I tell you what, it sounds like it's going to be the place to be.
Welcome to frankspeech.com.
This is going to be a platform like no other. It's kind of like a YouTube, Twitter combination. We've been working on it 4 years. I've spent over the last 4 weeks, I've spent millions of dollars making it the most secure. We're going to be able to handle the capacity. Your everything's going to be the most secure. We're not going to be able to, we're going to be attacked.
That's right. Come get lost in a world of paranoia and mustache wax at Frankspeech. Why do I get the feeling Mike Lindell is going to be living in a motel soon?
Once you look at our mission statement, because we went back and defined, we found from our founding fathers in the Supreme Court and stuff, what defines free speech. So you're not going to have to worry about people. If they're on there, there's going to be a good reporting system, but you don't get to use the 4 swear words, the C word, the N word, the F word, or God's name in vain.
Oh, great. That means kids can watch you have a full mental breakdown, too. Which C word do you think he's talking about? Ciabatta, maybe? The Pillow Man has a lot going on. He's also launching what he believes will be a rival to Amazon called My Store on the My Pillow. I spent the whole afternoon going through this, and there are some delightful items for sale at My Store. Peanut brittle, naturally. Freedom flags, which are 48% more patriotic than regular flags. There's a series of children's books called Donald the Caveman, featuring a Neanderthal Donald Trump beating an elderly dinosaur with the Constitution. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. There are a bunch of products that sound like we made them up. We didn't. Woof Perfect is a pet stain remover. Bleed Stop stops bleeding in seconds. And My Footsie, a $45 sleeping bag for your feet. And for only $39.99, you can have a life-size cardboard cutout of Mike Lindell lurking menacingly in your home. Who would buy this? I mean, besides me, who would buy this?
Oh, that's good. That's funny, Jimmy. Funny stuff. It's Frank, F-R-A-N-K, Frank Speech is what it's called. That's the website that he says, Mike Lindell says, is going to be like a cross between YouTube and Twitter. But we'll see. We will see. Yeah, he is, Heather. He sure is. Can only listen. Yeah, I was just wondering. I wanted to make sure that you're welcome, Ken. I wanted to make sure that we were, because as I say, I do believe that the stream is, or you could listen on the stream, legacy1160.com, and click on listen live. I think that's down though. Pretty sure that one's down, but I'm not 100% certain. Maybe we're up and running everywhere, and I'm just not knowing it. But it always makes me nervous when I can't monitor the radio station on all platforms. That, obviously, that's a problem. We've got 1050 right now on Legacy 1160, WSKW. And Matt Gaetz is having problems. You know that Matt Gaetz is a Republican firebrand from Florida. And the guy he has been amazing. And now he is being drawn into or placed into this. And I don't know. I'm not going to say he's innocent. He's guilty. Some strange things are happening in and around these allegations of him apparently flying with a 17-year-old and paying for her way. I don't know. It gets a little weird. It's getting to the point where he's suddenly not so much on the defense, which makes me wonder. Not that he has the platform to be on the defense. According to Populist Press, Gaetz has been informally blacklisted by Fox News. Did you hear about this? Now, I like Matt Gaetz. I do. Or, and I think or thought, depending on where this goes, he had a very, very bright career. This could end it all. He's been blacklisted by Fox News after trying to loop host Tucker Carlson into his sex trafficking scandal during an appearance. I don't know a lot about this. I do remember seeing some of the appearance, but I either missed this appearance, or I missed what they're talking about. I'll have to go back and look if it's even available. Sure it is. Matt Gaetz angered network brass after it seemed like he tried to turn Carlson into an exonerating witness, which made the popular primetime host Tucker visibly uncomfortable on the air. Fox News insiders told the Daily Beast that Gaetz was going to be excommunicado for a while. It's highly unlikely you'll see him on it again anytime soon, according to a network insider. Yeah. Okay, the phone app is working fine. Good. All right, it must have been my issue, which isn't surprising. Yeah, you think you've got issues? Let's talk sometime. Oh, you know what? It looks like the phone updated. That's probably exactly what happened. So I don't know what to think about this Matt Gaetz thing. And I can't remember seeing where he tried to get Tucker Carlson to exonerate him. And why would he do that? I mean, why would, other than give him a character reference, I don't know how well he and Tucker know each other, but other than give him a character reference, how else could Tucker Carlson exonerate him? If he, wasn't with him, I don't know. That seems kind of weird. Tucker denied it by saying he had no recollections of going to dinner. Okay. All right, Jen. I see. I didn't. I'll have to look further into that. This just sort of blindsided me this morning. I've been looking for Matt Gaetz stuff because he, as I've said, he is a Republican firebrand, or had been, and this could actually ruin his chances. And if we lost him, we would lose a great voice. I'm telling you right now. The guy has really said some moving things. He was at CPAC. He made a great speech at CPAC. He is a real firebrand. I mean, how else do you put it? The guy has passion. He can speak well. He's a dyed-in-the-wool Trump conservative, which is where the party is now, like it or not. And this could be devastating, really. Legacy time right now, 10:55. We are going to take a break. We have to take a break. And we will be back after the news and continue this thing called Freedom's Pep Rally. Thank you so much for joining me. I still can't figure out the screen thing. I'm only half here, and I don't get it. So stick around. We'll be back.
Legacy 1160 WSKW.
Electrical repair should never be done without the knowledge of how to do it safely. Better yet, skip that stress and let Kennebec Electric and Lighting take care of it for you. Kennebec Electric has offered professional electric and lighting service and expert installation in homes and businesses for over 37 years, and they stand behind that experience with a guarantee on all their work. Kennebec Electric and Lighting. Contact them for all your electric and lighting servicing, including installations and repairs at 861-7028 or online at KennebecElectric.com.
What's important here at Moody's is we have a lot of opportunity for upward mobility.
Moody's definitely helped me through. They sent me to school. I got my degree in business. I had the demeanor and I had the willpower and the want.
Our trade is constantly changing, and there's always new challenges that arise.
I definitely feel like an owner. It's very exciting.
When you like what you do, you like your job, you like the people you work with, what else could you ask for?
Bring your skills to Moody's and build a long-term future with us.
It's a new year. Aren't you tired of walking over the same beaten up old flooring? It's time you installed a new floor that offers premium durability by contacting HT Winters about their line of Tarkett Pro Gen tile and wood flooring. Tarkett is designed to stand strong in all seasons against water, dirt, and sunlight. The best way to improve your home this winter is to install Tarkett Pro Gen tile and wood flooring. HT Winters, 43 Bay Street in Winslow, and online at HT htwintersflooring.com.
All right. Apparently we're back. I don't know what happened to my news right there. Something did apparently. What time? Oh, it's not. Okay. I see exactly what happened. We're supposed to have a news break there, and it's computer wouldn't let me fire it because it's not 11 o'clock yet. So, stupid thing. That's the thing about these damn computers. They're smarter than we are sometimes. Let's see. Going to Cabela's today. I'm excited about this. We are excited. I thought, we were supposed to have 4 inches of snow, and we were worried about we might not be able to go to Cabela's. But it's raining, and the rain is what it is. Got some yard work done the other day. Anybody else, by the way, finding ticks are a huge problem this year already? Again. I don't think I got any on me yesterday. I was out doing some work with a chainsaw. My wife was out moving some brush. She had a ticks on her. I mean, she's caught. She got them caged now. Tiny little cage. She had like 2 or 3 on them. None of them, obviously, they hadn't been on long enough to engorge. But wow. It's supposed to change to snow later, Ken says. I play the weather, but I clearly pay no attention to it. I play it all morning long. My wife said, "What'd your weather say this morning?" I said, I really didn't listen to it. And I probably should. I probably should for occasions like this when I just sound stupid. Sarah Sanders is rocking, raised $5 million for her campaign. Yay! Sarah Sanders, by the way, in case you don't know, running for governor of Arkansas. How about that? It is governor, right, Ken? I'm reading off comments here on the feed. Her father was Mike was governor of Arkansas, and I believe that's the same thing that she is running for. She's amazing. Sarah Huckabee Sanders is amazing, and Kayleigh McEnany. I don't know if you've seen her. She's been on the 5. Excuse me, I had to sneeze there. Now, she's been on the 5. She is running for governor. Thanks, Ken. She's been on the 5 last few nights. I don't know if she was last night or not. But she's great. Kayleigh McEnany is great. Donald Trump, I mean, you compare any of who, including Sean Spicer. Compare any of the people that Donald Trump had for his spokesman. And by the way, don't you love how Joe Biden is so ignorant? Or he knows, or he thinks, or he knows his followers are. Well, we've got women on our press team. First admit Trump had mostly women on his. It's shut up, Joe. Just shut up. Stop it. Stop it. You're not impressing anybody anymore. Maybe Dr. Jill Biden. She ought to be Surgeon General, that Jill Biden. She's a hell of a doctor. You know who that is? That was my Whoopi Goldberg. She does. Yeah, you're talking about. Can I assume? I don't know if you're talking about Sarah or Kayleigh. Looks much more relaxed. But she was good. They were all good. Sarah Sanders was good. Sean Spicer was excellent. Kayleigh McEnany was excellent. And Jen Psaki is, I'm sorry. She may be a very nice person, but I think she's way in over her head. She doesn't really address questions. He really believes very strongly that what he is doing is right. We'll circle back. There's never any real substantive answers. I haven't watched many of her press conferences lately. Is she still calling on Peter Doocy, Fox News, at all? She doesn't like his questions because he asks tough questions. that she will have to circle back on or just plain not answer. And Joe Biden will never call on Peter Doocy. He didn't during his first press conference. He wanted some of the tougher questions like, are you going to run again in 2024? That's about what he can handle. We've got more coming up after the news. I'm John James. This is Freedom's Pep Rally.
From the Home Auto Group Studios, Farmington Ford and Franklin Chrysler in Farmington. This is WSKW, Skowhegan, Augusta, Waterville, Legacy 1160.
ABC News, I'm Jim Ryan. 8 people are dead after an overnight shooting in Indiana.
Multiple other people were injured when gunfire erupted at a FedEx facility in Indianapolis.
I have a female who's in a control room who advised the subjects are still shooting. She does not have a visual, but can hear the shot.
Dispatch on Broadcastify.com. Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department spokesperson Janae Cook says the gunman apparently took his own life.
It is very heartbreaking. And, you know, Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department, the officers responded. They came in, they went in, and they did their job. And a lot of them are trying to face this because this is a sight that no one should ever have to see.
Todd Ant, ABC News.
Law enforcement sources tell ABC News there's no apparent link to terrorism. Protests overnight in Chicago after police body cam video was released of the fatal shooting of a 13-year-old boy. The video appears to show an officer firing less than a second after he told Adam Toledo to drop a gun and to raise his hands. This is ABC News. Divers in the Gulf of Mexico are preparing to go into a capsized commercial ship days after 12 sailors went missing in bad weather. Most of the ship is submerged in 50-foot water about 8 miles off the Louisiana coast. 2 murders strikingly similar around Charlotte, North Carolina. They have police there warning the transgender community.
1 or more persons may be targeting transgender women, particularly sex workers, with deadly violence, say Charlotte Mecklenburg police. 2 bodies of trans women were recently found in hotel rooms.
This isn't something we see frequently. Something we rarely see.
Police spokesman Rob Tufano says to trans women in sex work,
they have to know that there is probably arguably never a more vulnerable time for them.
Urging them to be hyper cautious, hyper vigilant. They're investigating. Chuck Severson, ABC News.
And Great Britain is preparing to say final goodbyes tomorrow to Prince Philip. Because of COVID rules, only 30 family members and close friends will attend. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
As a dentist, I know what my patients are saying during times when they really can't speak.
Mm-hmm.
She says her gums are irritated.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you can do? Absolutely. You can try New Crest Advanced Gum Restore.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, New Crest Advanced Gum Restore. It detoxifies below the gum line to restore your gums back to health in just 7 days.
Oh,
exactly. Healthy gums, healthy mouth.
New Crest Advanced Gum Restore. Healthy, beautiful smiles for life.
Hi, I'm calling to schedule a shipment.
Indeed knows unexpected employee turnover can turn your business upside down.
Last pickup is at 7? Team, we gotta hustle.
Like at Sumita's online chai company, to avoid back orders, she needs to get started hiring right away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. And the moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first sponsored job post. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, welcome back. Legacy 1160 WSKW. Freedom's Pep Rally brought to you by the Gun Shop on Coney Circle in Augusta. See my friends at the Gun Shop. It's a great place. I love going in there and just hanging out. It's just such a nice place. The people are nice. They're friendly. They're upbeat. And it's a gun shop. Plus, they have other stuff, too. They have collectibles. This is the most amazing place. I tell you what. If you love old stuff, you love to collect beautiful coins. I'm talking beautiful coins, silver and gold, silver and gold. You remember that one, Ricky? Chris Lane and I used to sing that down at the Radio Ranch in Lewiston, Auburn. Silver and gold. Yukon Cornelius, of course. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, we're not going to work on the, we're not going to do camera 3 today because it's like I'm half screen. It's weird. And I must look tiny. You know what we'll do? I'll tell you what we'll do. I'm going to do this. I am going to put this camera right here on how's that? That's Jana. There we go. That's Jana Reeves. She's much better to look at. I'm going to leave the camera right on her for a little while. Jana is much easier on the eyes than I am, and she's an amazing Second Amendment supporter. I followed her for a long time. She used to go by the name Miss Battleborn. She still has her page up, Miss Battleborn, and then she just went to Jana Reeves, and now she's this goes back a few years. I met her at a NRA conference in I don't know, Louisville, I think. Yeah, it was because I didn't interview with her. You can find the interview on this Facebook channel if you're on this YouTube channel if you're on American Women Who Bear Arms. Just look for Jana Reeves, and we did this. She is so cool. She was representing Brownells, as you can see on her shirt there if you're watching her on the video, and we both tried to perfect saying the name of the town we were in. It's not Louisville. People say Louisville Sluggers, Louisville, Kentucky. Now, it's the locals call it Louisville. It's Louisville. And so we're both doing this Louisville back and forth. It was kind of cute. Anyway, so if you want to check out the interview, it's on American Women Who Bear Arms, which is where, if you're on YouTube, that's where you're watching it right now. So, more anger in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota last night. Protesters threw rocks, cans, and fruit. And they were doing this at law enforcement officers. They were throwing this stuff at cops, and they were shining lasers in their eyes in an attempt to blind them. Wow. The State Law Enforcement Coalition added that that fireworks were also shot. Protesters were trying to cut the fence surrounding the building to gain entry into the perimeter. Even a fist fight broke out among some in the crowd outside the fence, according to Operation Safety Net, OSN. Unlike previous nights, law enforcement officers stood further back from the barricades, creating more distance between them and the protesters. A second line of fencing was also set up between the protesters and police department. Other people shouted obscenities at police, shook the security fence. That happened just and they don't even know what they're reacting to. They have no clue what they're even reacting to, these people. They get news and they react to it. They don't respond. This is what if you're an objective, clear-headed, non-ignorant individual, what you do, here's the difference. 2 R words I'm going to give you here. You've heard them both before, but there is a difference. You respond. Like police respond to an incident. They don't react to an incident and start shooting their gun in all directions. They respond to it. Now, protesters would do well to respond. And I realize there are some good protesters out there who were just protesting. I do recognize that. I don't group everyone in together like the left does. Like the left does with white people. We're all white supremacists. White people are. But I don't group them all together. So you've got people reacting to a situation. They're out there destroying things, stores. They're setting cars on fire. They're looting buildings. They're trying to get to the police. They're cutting fence. They're throwing projectiles. That's reacting. That is a reaction, which isn't equal to the action. That flies in the face of everything you've learned. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Well, maybe in a perfect world, but when it comes to idiot people, for every action, there is a very unequal and opposite reaction. So here they are last night, and as they're shouting obscenities, throwing things at the police in Brooklyn Center, the news and body camera footage is released related to the fatal officer-involved shooting of 13-year-old Adam Toledo last month in Chicago. That video is out. I've seen that video. Another tragedy. But again, perspective is key. Context is key. These people care not about context. They just want to react to what they perceive, and what they perceive, of course, is perception is reality, right? These people perceive that all police are bad. So it doesn't matter why. It doesn't matter what the extenuating circumstances are. If the police were involved in a shooting, it's got to be a murder by police. Therefore, we will condemn all police. We will throw things at police. We will kill police. We'll loot buildings. We'll burn down and occupy police stations. This is ignorance. These are improper reactions. Protests are proper responses. A protest, I don't care if it's 2 people or 1,000 people. A protest is tantamount to saying, hey, you know, something's going wrong here. We've got to get it taken care of. We protest what has happened. Basically, it's saying to me, let's have some dialogue. We don't like what happened. That's why peaceful protesting is good. I don't care whether you agree with the protesting side or not. It's good. It should open up a dialogue. But this knee-jerk reacting is way off base. And notice, mainstream media will not talk about it. Every leftist's beloved MSNBC with racist Reed and Sharpton and CNN's Chris Cuomo and Don Lemon, they will not talk about this. They should be all over this, saying this is horrible. This is not how we act in America. This is not how we react to situations we don't agree with. But what do? They amp it up. They gin up the hatred. They make people mad. And then they go on TV like Chris Cuomo did and said, who says protests have to be peaceful? They would rather talk about, as Joy Reid did Wednesday, they would rather talk about the January 6th insurrection. And as Joy Reid said, how white nationalists are endangering people in Washington. Like there's nothing else going on right now in the country. Like there aren't lives being affected. Lives, small business people, innocent police, innocent citizens being affected very negatively, perhaps permanently, by what is going on now in reactions to the killing, which was tragic, of Dante Wright, and now this kid in Chicago. They don't talk about that. They don't bemoan that. They don't say that's wrong. They only want to dwell on January 6th because there were some conservatives. There were some liberals too. Antifa was in there. Notice they don't talk. They don't hearken. You remember when Candace Owens, who lives in Washington, D.C., hearkened back to the BLM protests in Washington, D.C. last year and said that's when she felt threatened? When they were literally taking over the streets. They burned down a church. Crickets. Not a word. Crickets. From the left. But mention January 6th, they'll talk nonstop. So here's the deal. People, opportunists, riot, loot, burn, steal before they have any information or context to go with these incidents. And rather than focus on a singular incident and those involved groups who are, whether it's a couple of police officers or some real white supremacists, of which there aren't that many, by the way, they would rather just throw everything into a single narrative. Loot, burn, destroy. Law enforcement bad. White people racist. That's it. Let's go. They're they want people to hate each other. They are racist. They are racist. Stop letting them tell you how to think. Stop letting them tell you you've got to believe white supremacy rules this country and that white people are all white supremacists and there is systemic racism and there is white privilege and you've got to believe that or we're going to cancel you. Be an individual. Grow a pair, as they say. Stand up. Say, I'm done with you. I am done with you. You don't control me. I'm an individual, and I know people. I know if you're a leftist, you know conservatives, and you know they aren't racist. You know they aren't white supremacists. Then stand up and say so. I know that not all liberals are racist. I know that. I understand that. There are tons, more Democrats than not, are not racist. More Democrats than not, I believe in my heart, are colorblind. Again, I'm not going to group everyone in with the loudmouth radical leftists, but they are controlling the narrative. Don't let them do that. Don't let them do that. They have got so many people on the left convinced. So many white people, virtue signaling white people on the left, convinced that they themselves and all white people are bad, that they have not a rational thought in their head. They have been convinced that they are racist. They are part of the problem. And they project that onto every white person they know. As I've often said and will continue to say, white, black, Asian, Hispanic, I don't care as long as you're a nice person. I'm colorblind. I don't care. It means nothing to me. How stupid is it that we deal so much and dwell so much on skin color? What is that? What is that? Why is that? Well, I don't, but you know people who do. You know who does. They can't leave it alone. The people who can't do anything but dwell on skin color, they are by definition racist. So when I call them racist, when I call Joy Reid a racist, she's black. She can't be. Yeah, she can. She is. She is, and so is Al Sharpton. Because they see color in everything. And that's exactly what the schools are teaching kids with these racial justice classes. I forget the name of the program. But we had audio on it. The black kid trying to not see color in two women standing next to each other. I said I'd get that for you today, and I didn't. I forgot. Yeah, the black woman and a white woman. Teacher saying, what do you see here? And the black kid, God bless him. Black kid said, I just see two women chilling. Now, a normal teacher, a normal objective thinking teacher, a normal human being would have left that alone and said, good, next. But no, when the high school kid said, I see two people chilling. The teacher said, I don't believe that. What do you see? And he kept pushing the kid and pushing the kid and pushing the kid until he saw race. Yeah, that's what he wanted to hear. Sick. It is sick. It's a sickness. Liberalism, progressivism is a mental disorder. These people are not functioning properly and should be ignored. Best possible scenario, ignore them. If you can't, at least have the ammunition and the wherewithal to push back. Don't let them tell you what you are and what is going on, because they are ignorant to it. They have no clue what's going on. They only echo what they hear, and what they hear is more often than not completely and totally wrong. Not an opinion, it's wrong. I keep messing with the mic. I keep moving it. It's very light. I bring the bigger mic over here next time. Thank you, Shannon. Yes. Critical race theory. That's it. That what I just told you about, that's critical race theory. Where you're taught, and you're welcome, Heather. It's critical race theory, and it's wrong. It is wrong. Academia loves it. Academia teaches it. Why? Because academia wants racism. They want to keep racism going. It's a job for them. It guarantees a job. Oh, it's new curriculum. Not for my kids, it wouldn't be. Don't be giving my kids. I want my kids to grow up colorblind like I did. I don't want my kids to grow up racist. That's what critical race theory does. It makes kids racist. And if you're not racist when you go in, they'll make sure you are when you come out. Think I'm lying? Look up that video. The guy was in Georgia, I believe it was Georgia. Georgia critical race theory class caught on video. Check it out and see and hear. I will actually try to find it. I know where it is. In case you haven't heard it, I want you to hear it because it says exactly what's wrong. It tells you exactly what's wrong with academia and this country, from the media to Congress to corporations to technology on down. I promise I will have that coming up. I know I can find it. Stay with me. We've got to take a break. I'm John James. This is Freedom's Pep Rally.
Legacy 1160, WSKW.
Spring is the time of renewal for both you and your home. So brighten your day and your surroundings with great items from Town Line Antiques. Do you love classic decor? You'll find furniture, artwork, glassware, signs, and hundreds more pieces around every corner. Their classic colors and styles will have you thinking spring and feeling invigorated every time you see them. Or maybe you enjoy collecting books, comics, coins, sports memorabilia, watches, or classic electronics. Town Line Antiques has rare items that you won't find anywhere else. Town Line is also showcasing a new display of art glass that's absolutely dazzling. Each piece is one of a kind, with its own unique flair of colors and form. You simply have to see them to appreciate their beauty. And for everyone who loves to bring items back to life, they're now carrying high-quality fusion mineral paints that give you beautiful color and a durable, long-lasting finish. Town Line Antiques, open Tuesday through Sunday from 10 to 5. Route 201, right on the Winslow-Vassalboro Town Line.
Us hardworking men still want to look our best. That's why you need to head to Penny's Barber Shop. You'll get an excellent haircut, straight edge neck shave, and a hot towel wrap, all for only $18.
Hi, I'm Christine, and I know what you're looking for when it comes to a great haircut and shave. From traditional styles to new ones, we listen to our customers because we have done it all.
When you look good, you feel good. So call Penny's Barbershop to set up an appointment today at 380-6224. Penny's Barbershop, 173 State Street in Augusta, next to Enterprise.
On April 7th, 2021, Mountain Wireless Incorporated, the licensee of WFMX-FM 107.9 megahertz and WSKW AM 1160 kilohertz, both Skowhegan, Maine, and WCTB 93.5 megahertz, Fairfield, Maine, filed an application with the Federal Communications Commission to assign the station licenses to J. Hansen Company Incorporated. Members of the public wishing to view this application or obtain information about how to file comments and petitions on the application can visit publicfiles.fcc.gov and search in the public files for WFMX, WSKW, or WCTB.
Spring is the time for renewal for both you and your home. So brighten your day and your surroundings with great items from Town Line Antiques. Do you love classic decor? You'll find furniture, artwork, glassware, signs, and hundreds more pieces around every corner. Their classic colors and styles will have you thinking spring and feeling invigorated every time you see them. Or maybe you enjoy collecting books, comics, coins, sports memorabilia, watches, classic electronics. Town Line Antiques has rare items that you won't find anywhere else. Town Line is also showcasing a new display of art glass that's absolutely dazzling. Each piece is one of a kind with its own unique flair of colors and form. You'll simply have to see them to appreciate their beauty. And for everyone who loves to bring items back to life, they're now carrying high-quality fusion mineral paints that give you beautiful color and a durable, long-lasting finish. Town Line Antiques, open Tuesday through Sunday, 10 to 5, Route 201, right on the Winslow-Vassalboro Town Line.
In Maine, an astonishing 1 in 5 people will experience sexual violence in their lifetime. But you can support survivors, bring awareness, and help to bring an end to sexual assault during the Sexual Assault Crisis and Support Center's 10th annual 1 in 5 5K. This year, it's a hybrid event. You can participate virtually or in person at First Park in Oakland, Sunday, April 25th. All proceeds benefit the Sexual Assault Crisis and Support Center. For more information and to register, go to silentnomore.org.
Hi, my name is Tony Esposito from Rockland Ford. If you haven't heard, things are getting even crazier in the car business. Computer chip shortages mean that we have no idea when we will be getting new vehicles. Now, what does that mean for you? Your used car has skyrocketed in value. You may even be able to make a profit on it. At Rockland Ford, we are paying all the money for used vehicles every single day. So call us and take advantage of the market before it's over. On another note, as Rockland Ford continues to grow, we are looking for new team members to join our family. We are hiring for all departments with sign-on bonuses of up to $10,000. Some positions don't require any experience at all, so if you have been looking to start a career in a fun, fast-paced, team-oriented environment, then we want you on our team. Call us at Rockland Ford, home of the Rock Bottom Deal, Route 1 in Thomaston.
I'm CBS 13 meteorologist Lexi O'Connor. Rain and snow this morning, eventually changing to snow even at the coast, with temperatures dropping into the mid to upper 30s. Heaviest snow accumulations will be inland and through the mountains, and it will be windy. Rain and snow tapers to showers tonight into tomorrow morning, staying cloudy tomorrow with highs in the 40s, mostly cloudy, highs around 50 on Sunday.
I've been training to be a championship sprinter.
No, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. This half hour, we got a lot to get to here. All right, welcome back. Freedom's Pep Rally on Legacy 1160 WSKW. Thank you very much to the team back at the radio station. Mike Violet, especially helping us out. Mark Jackson, Jay Hansen, and the rest. Really appreciate the help. As always, we do. You put the camera back on Jana Reeves. Would you do that for me? Oh, there we go. Jana Reeves, an amazing human being. She got a beautiful little family now. Got some children and just beautiful family. And a great shooter. Big in the shooting sports. I don't know if she's competing now or not, but she certainly was. Talk about great shots. She certainly had that going for her. Has that going for her. All right. As I say, we've got quite a bit to get to this half hour. And but before we get to actually, we're going to get to some transgender news, because this is another huge thing being pushed by Biden, being endorsed by Biden. And I'm a very fair-minded person. I don't see what the big issue is with all this. I don't understand why this is such an issue, but it has become one. And I come down on a very adamant side, unapologetically too. And I can honestly say I accept everybody for who they are, who they want to be. I accept them for that. But who they want to be isn't necessarily who they're going to be if it affects somebody else's rights. That's what we're going to be talking about. Let's talk about what Kamala Harris is saying, though. She was chosen by Joe Biden to oversee the border, right? She's the border guru. Kamala Harris, yeah, baby. When she was told she was going to be the border guru, she said, and she also said this.
I just don't.
Yeah. Always laughing, that girl. I'm going to start calling her Cam. I think I told you that the other day, didn't I? Cam or Cammy? Cammy would be good, wouldn't it? So, according to Cammy Harris, the root cause of the migrant surge, which even some Democrats have now admitted is a crisis, the root cause of it is not Joe Biden's policies. It's climate change. I mean, every story they push sounds like a joke. It sounds like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. Like Hank Johnson there. When I told you Hank Johnson, Democrat from Georgia, actually said to an admiral that he was worried the island of Guam, if it was overpopulated, would capsize. I mean, stupid, unbelievable story from the left. What do we call that? Well, today we call it Friday. So yeah, the migrant surge, the invasion, which is white supremacist, according to AOC, and gosh, she knows everything. She's Mrs. Knowledge or Ms. Knowledge. But climate change is responsible. Harris has not been to the border, by the way, since becoming vice president. She is going to go to Mexico and Northern Triangle countries, where she says there's a need for resilience around extreme climate due to severe weather experiences. She made the remarks Wednesday. The New York Post editorial board was skeptical of her assessment, noting she made no mention of the corrupt governments that prevent economic process and are sure to pocket a bulk of any foreign aid meant to develop those economies or make their farms more resilient. What did I tell you early on when we first broke this climate change? Because she's not the first to say it's because of climate change. I told you the reason that these are oppressed nations are because their leaders are tyrants and they are the ones becoming rich while the citizens suffer. I told you this, and there you go. Is that hard to believe? Tyrants get the money. What do you think's going to happen when they get? Why do you think they want us to become a socialist country? More money and power for them. Of course. Of course, the blind don't see. Amazing grace. How sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, they're lost, but now I'm found. I hope they get there. Was blind as they are, and hopefully they will see. They're so blind. These countries that are oppressive, that suppress votes, that suppress people, they're the tyrants. But somehow it's going to be different in America. Bernie Sanders, it's going to be different here. AOC says, it's going to be great. It's going to be different. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be utopia. Really? Okay. How? Well, just is. Trust us. Yeah, trust you. Okay. All right, we'll do that. There are some that would. There are some that would. If you didn't have voices of reason like ours here, and you ran on what the leftist progressives were telling you, I mean, this would have been, I swear, this would have been a socialist state many years ago. We're headed that way now. Just understand that some people are onto it. So you've got all these tyrants collecting all this money, oppressing all their people. And as I told you, all of those that are leading you, the sheep, once they get what they want, you're going to find out they really don't care about you. I'm telling you right now, everybody who says, they care about us, they care about the racism, and they care about the climate, these people care. No, they don't. You will find that out once they get their control, because then you will be then we're all going to, at least we'll all be thinking the same. We're all going to be thinking the same. The only difference is you're going to be saying, leftists, you're going to be saying, how did we get here? And we're going to be saying, we told you how we were getting here. You didn't listen to us. We're all going to be friends then, for different reasons. But we're sounding the alarm. You got to listen. It'll make life a lot better here in America. It will. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but we are like number 6 on a list of the best countries to live in right now. And again, the man show guy, Jimmy Kimmel, was making fun of, blaming it on Trump. And I mean, these people are just so dumb. They're just dumb. I mean, I don't watch them because they aren't funny and they aren't entertaining, but I also wouldn't watch them because they are just dumb. Legacy time right now, 11:40. So Kamala Harris didn't touch on any of the tyrannical governing going on, the oppressing of citizens going on. She also didn't touch on the gangs that terrorize common people, giving them more reasons to flee. Corrupt government, corrupt people, gangs. Oh, and by the way, those gangs, guess where they're headed? Come on in! Come on in! Search the border! Thank you, Joe. No, it's not climate change, Commie Harris. It's you and your idiotic leaders' stupid stupid plan, stupid edicts, because you want votes and power. That's all. We know we're on to you. You can fool some of the people all of the time. You're not fooling us, though. Okay. So, before we get to the stuff on transgender, which I've got a bunch of, and we'll have time to get to at least some of it. I told you about the critical race theory audio, just in case you missed it. And if you did hear it, you know, hearing it again, you're sure you won't mind hearing it again, because it just is so telling of how racist the left is. And this is what I want people, and I'm not saying if you're in Central Maine or I'm not saying they are teaching this in Central Maine, but don't be surprised if they are. I mean, they're putting out Maine posters for 11 and 12-year-olds in Dover Foxcroft and probably at other schools to promote all the many different genders. This isn't education. It's not education. It's not even science. This is opinion being posted as fact. Wrong. Critical race theory, same thing. It's to push racism. It is literally a class that teaches your kids how to be racist. And it's exclusively from the woke crowd. Okay, let me set this up again for you really quickly. You got a white teacher, you got a black student, and you have a photograph on this Zoom class of two women, one black, one white. They're standing back to back. They aren't angry. They aren't fighting. They are just standing there looking like content humans. So the black kid doesn't see anything there except two women chilling. Listen to how the teacher forces racism on him. Go.
The story behind this picture, I'd rather hold on to that. Just tell me what this seems to be a picture of.
It's just two people chilling.
That's right, what he said.
Just two people. That's nothing more to this picture?
Nah, not really. Just two people chilling.
Okay, teacher, leave it alone.
I don't believe that you believe that.
Leave it alone.
I don't believe that you look at this as just two people. I don't think
truly
you
is just two people, though, is it not?
Is it not?
Yeah, but I think you're being intentionally coy about what this is a picture of.
What would I be being coy about? It's two people standing back to back in a picture.
Yeah, and that's all you see is two people.
I'm confused on what you would like me to speak on in that sense.
I don't think you are. I don't know why you do this. I'm not trying to call you out, but you come out off of mute to talk about what this is a picture of, and you act as if there's nothing noticeable about this apart from the fact that they're two people.
Well, I'm confused. Are you trying to get me to say that there are two different races in this picture?
Yes,
is that what you want me to say?
There you go.
Well, at the end of the day, wouldn't that just be feeding into the problem of looking at race instead of just acknowledging them as two normal people?
There you go.
No, it's not, because you can't not look at you can't look at the people and not acknowledge that there are racial differences, right?
But if we're going for, let's say, if we're looking for equality within all this, then why would we need to point out things such as that?
Because those differences are real things. You can't.
They're real things. You don't need to acknowledge it. You don't. Critical race theory. Isn't it great? Did you hear that, teacher? What a moron. How do people like this get degrees? How do they keep a job? Does that tell you something about academia? For these people to keep these jobs, the rest of them must all be woke too. Scary, scary. Regressives, not progressives, regressives. No two ways about it. Are there? Is there? It is infuriating. Yes, it is. I bet the teacher's a registered Democrat too. Absolutely. Okay, this Jim wow, thank you, Jim, for this. North Carolina teacher and coach killed in shootout with Mexican drug cartel. Huh. Okay, that's first I've heard of this. I have no idea this breaking apparently. Thank you for the update on that. I can't always watch these things. Oh, by the way, one of these guys that I'm talking about here, I think one of the two I just mentioned, shared a link. It's interesting. It's called Pledge the Line. I think it's pledgetheline.com, if I'm not mistaken. It takes you to, I think it's pledgetheline.com. And it takes you to say something about vaccination. And if you go ahead and post that again, because I'm not sure what I went to the website, but I'm not sure what the web address was. I think it's pledgetheline.com, but I may be wrong about that. Legacy time right now, it's 11:48. Okay, let's get to a little of the transgender news that I've got for you here. Texas goes against the pro-trans NCAA, and this is starting to become more and more common, thank goodness. Defying an NCAA warning, the Texas Senate approved a bill that bans any athlete born as male to compete in girls' sports. Amen. Amen. Thank goodness there are a few good, objective, clear-thinking people out there. The NCAA Board of Governors last week warned it could pull championship games from states that allow athletes to compete only according to their biological sex. Because the NCAA is woke, because they're part of academia, which is woke. Even though it's not fair to their own student athletes, they don't care because they need to be seen as woke. It's all in visuals. How do you see us? Do you see us as woke? No, you're not allowing trans girls to play in women's sports. You've got to allow trans girls to play with the women, then you'll be woke. Okay, we want to change the optics so we look good and woke. We want to be part of the in crowd, so here we go. That's the NCAA. The author of the Texas bill, Republican State Senator Charles Perry of Lubbock, explained it's about protecting female athletes and recognizing their accomplishments within their biological peer group. Because science, woohoo, science! They love it until they don't. So the state Senate approved the bill on Thursday by an 18-12 vote. Now heads to the Texas House. 18-12, that means there are 12 idiots out there who don't think that girls should only compete with girls in girls' sports. 12 idiots. I say 12 idiots, 12 people who deny science, who don't care about women's rights, girls' rights, who don't care about your daughter or granddaughter in Texas. NCAA said in its statement last Monday that its policy directs that only locations where hosts can commit to providing an environment that is safe, healthy, and free of discrimination should be selected. They aren't being discriminated against. Let them form a transgender league. Let them do it. Let them do it. Nobody's stopping you. Oh, I see. You don't want to do the work to create a whole new league. You just want to identify as a girl and play as a girl. That easy. That easy. So I could identify as a girl or a woman with, my goatee, keep myself completely intact, but identify as a girl and then go play against other women in softball and in hockey, field hockey, whatever, right? Or running. I can't run. Don't worry. You'd beat me anyway. So that's okay for the NCAA. Dozens of other states also considering similar measures. I hope they all do. I hope the NCAA doesn't have anywhere to play. I hope there's not, but as long as you've got New York and Maine and Massachusetts and California, there's always going to be a place that is welcoming and accepting of everybody. Oh, I'm sorry, what's your name again? It's formerly what? Duke? Your name's formerly Duke? How much do you weigh? 420 pounds, and you want to lift weights with the ladies? Well, if you identify as a lady, you're more than welcome to go ahead and lift with them. Oh, but they're woke. They're woke. God bless them. They're woke. Thank goodness Duke outweighs every woman on the team. In fact, it would take 3 women to make up Duke's strength and weight. So he's naturally, biologically stronger than them, but he identifies as a woman. So who are we to question that? Well, why don't you do a gender test? See what his chromosomes say he is, she is, whatever. And then go from there. Science doesn't matter when they don't want it to, right? Right. So, sex ed in Arizona. We're gonna I want to do this one. This is. We'll save that. We don't have time for both. Transgender activist Willow Brashears claimed that the state's banning gender-affirming care for transgender kids will cause a surge in deaths. From the studies I've seen, most of the depression and suicidal thoughts come from those who have undergone trans surgery and then regretted it. And no, the bullying's not going to stop because nature is nature, and people are always going to look quizzically at something that isn't normal. And I'm sorry, transgender, I will accept anybody for whatever they want to be, but not everybody's going to. Not everybody, and people are going to look like, wow, that's interesting looking woman or man. It's the way it is. It's science. It's not scientifically possible to completely, I mean, there are some women, some trans women who actually look they're very attractive. I mean, you can fool me, you can fool everybody, then good for you. But most of the trans women I've seen, there's just something that looks off to me. That's just me. I'm just saying I'm telling you the way I feel, and I'm sure everybody else out there probably feels the same way. Many won't admit it. I will. So this Brashears testified before state lawmakers to stop the passage of a newly proposed state law that bans healthcare providers from providing gender-affirming care to youth under the age of 18. Such gender-affirming care includes puberty blockers and hormone therapy. In Arkansas. Now, last week, Asa Hutchinson, the Arkansas governor, vetoed a bill that would have made the state the first to ban gender-affirming medical care for youth under the age of 18, even with parental consent. At the time, he said that the Save Adolescents from Experimentation Act, or SAFE Act, was a vast government overreach. However, that was overridden by the legislature. Now, in the same article, the continuing argument about should transgender females be allowed in girls' and women's sports went on. Here's what do we have time? Time for this one thing. Okay. Here's what transgender world track cycling champion Dr. Veronica Ivy had to say in USA Today. Now, Dr. Veronica Ivy is a transgendered female, and very telling that she is a cycling champion, a female cycling champion. That right there should tell you something. That would be cut C. Go.
There have certainly been races where I've clearly dealt with discrimination. For example, I've had people pull out of races or boycott just because I was racing, just for being who I am. Now is a terrifying time to be a trans child. There is absolutely an all-out assault on your rights, your dignity. Like, the right to play is being taken away from you just because of who you are. And that feels scary. Testosterone doesn't have this impact on performance if it's produced by your own body. If you add more testosterone through doping, then there is often a performance boost. That's why it's banned.
That's why it's banned. So not a problem. Girls can be boys and boys can be girls, says the world champion cycler. No advantages there, of course not. Meanwhile, a young woman from Connecticut has had her hopes and dreams as a champion runner hijacked by, you guessed it, transgender females. Here's what Selena Soul told Prager University.
I've been training to be a championship sprinter since I was 8 years old. With the help of my parents, my coaches, and my teammates, I did it. By sophomore year of high school in 2018, I was one of the top 5 female high school sprinters in Connecticut. But then, one day, I wasn't. At the state championships that year, 2 people passed me, passed all of us girls, literally. They finished first and second in our races, dominating the field. Were they more motivated? Did they train harder? I don't think so. But they did have an edge, a big one we couldn't match. They were biological boys who said they were transgender girls.
What?
Do you think that's fair? Males
No.
competing against females? Before you make up your mind, let me tell you a bit about what it took for me to become a top female sprinter.
Listen to this.
It meant training with my team every day after school for at least 2 hours, working to shave fractions of a second off of my time in the 100 and 200 meter dash. It meant not hanging out after school or going out with friends on the weekends. It meant getting up early every Saturday morning and competing all day at a meet. It meant not indulging in any of the things that might cost me my dream. And here's the thing about the 2 biological males that took the top 2 girls' medals in the state of Connecticut. Their times were not even good enough to qualify them to compete in the state championships on the boys' team. Let me say that again in case you missed it. Their times were not good enough to qualify them for the boys' state championships. But 2 years in a row, they won first and second place competing against the girls. All in all, these 2 biological males won 15 women's state championship titles. Some in the media have accused me of being a sore loser. They tell me to run harder. But the biological changes that males go through during puberty are so significant, they gain an insurmountable advantage in strength and in speed. That's why boys always competed against boys and girls against girls. U.S. runner Allison Felix is an inspiration to me. She's the fastest female sprinter in the world. Her lifetime best for the 400 meters is 49.26 seconds. But based on 2018 data, nearly 300 high school boys in the U.S. alone could beat that record. What we are talking about then is not just boys taking women's trophies, though they are. And we aren't talking about biological boys taking women's athletic scholarships, though they'll do that too. When biological boys are allowed to compete against girls in sports like track, where the differences in performance are so great, we are talking about girls getting shut out, never getting the chance to win or even compete at all. When 2 biological boys took the first and second place spots against me in the 2019 Indoor State Championship, I lost the opportunity to participate at the New England Championships. I lost the chance to be scouted by top coaches, possibly even to win scholarships. Right now, biological boys are being allowed to set records on the girls' team, deleting girls' records, erasing the achievements of actual girls, and setting a standard probably no girl can meet, no matter how much she trains or how hard she tries. The reason that we have girls' sports in the first place is to give female athletes with talent, hard work, and dedication an equal opportunity to shine and be recognized. But girls will never have that opportunity if they are forced to compete with biological boys in sports like track and field, softball, volleyball, or basketball. Women fought too hard for too long so girls like me can have the opportunity to compete on a level playing field. Maybe worst of all, when girls try to object, when we point out the truth, that biological differences in strength and speed between boys and girls are massive and real, we're called bigots. Administrators, teachers, coaches, and other students tell us to just keep quiet and take it.
Yeah.
We are told a girl's place is to be seen and not heard. Well, we won't be silenced. We are fighting back. With 2 other top female runners in Connecticut, I have filed a federal lawsuit under Title IX to protect the rights of women and girls to a fair competition on a level playing field. Please don't turn your backs on us, America. This isn't about gender identity. It's about fair play. I'm Selena Soul for Prager University.
Selena Soul, amazing. Amazing. She was a track star. Thwarted just like that. Biological males. Not fair. Not right. I want to apologize to Mark and whoever's at the station. I can't see today at the station, but we ran a little over. So we've got a few commercials. We get news coming up, and then we get your music for the next. It's all weekend long, as a matter of fact. I hope you have a great weekend. Happy Friday to you. I'm John James. This is Freedom's Pep Rally.
WSKW, Legacy 1160.
Look around and you'll see hardworking people doing amazing things. People like nurses and respiratory therapists who keep us healthy, teachers and mental health specialists who care for our loved ones. And let's not forget the builders, electricians, and plumbers who help make sure our homes are safe and comfortable. What you might not know is that many of these men and women got their start right here, close to home, at Kennebec Valley Community College. Hi, I'm Teresa Smith, Director of Advising. And for more than 50 years, KVCC has expanded the programs we offer in order to meet the changing needs of Maine's workforce. Our adaptability truly is our strength, and we want you to know that no matter what changes the future brings, KVCC will be here, providing affordable, high-quality education to the people of Central Maine. With summer classes beginning on May 10th, there's no need to wait. You can apply today. High school juniors and seniors may even qualify for a free class this summer. To learn more, visit us online at kvcc.me.edu, or better yet, call us at 453-5822. That's 453-KVCC.
Do you have itchy, irritated, or burning eyes? You may be experiencing dry eye syndrome. Contact Kennebec Eye Care and let them help find a solution to the problem. When we concentrate on activities like reading, driving, and computers, we blink less, which reduces the amount of tears on the surface of the eye. An exam with Kennebec Eye Care will identify what's causing the issue and how to best treat it. Schedule an appointment today by calling 872-2797. Kennebec Eye Care, your site specialists, 216 Main Street in Waterville, and online at KennebecEyeCare.com.
What's important here at Moody's is we have a lot of opportunity for upward mobility.
Moody's definitely helped me through. They sent me to school. I got my degree in business. I had the demeanor and I had the willpower and the want.
Our trade is constantly changing and there's always new challenges that arise.
I definitely feel like an owner. It's very exciting.
When you like what you do, you like your job, you like the people you work with, what else could you ask for?
Bring your skills to Moody's and build a long-term future with us.
Box Drop Mattress now has Sleep to Win smart beds. They're American-made and adjustable from head to toe to meet your individual sleeping needs. One night's sleep and you'll realize that Sleep to Win smart beds are more comfortable than ones that cost much more. Box Drop Mattress in Winslow and Newport. Schedule an appointment at boxdropwinslow.com today.